Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys.
Your membership to gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race every Wednesday and Friday.
A lot of names, a lot of familiar faces, and another chance for $50 to sign up for PSR Gold. It's going to be a lot of fun. Why wouldn't you want to be on this list, huh? Frank, that's a great question. Does AI determine the winner? No, Frank. The fastest horse does. So shout out to everyone that's a member. We appreciate you guys. We let our horses run forever. 2.5 hours.
Hey, we're racing.
It's Antonio. Here we go.
And they are off.
You know I'm not winning this. My horse ain't like this.
And here comes Big Show, who says 2 minutes is too long. Big Show wants this race to end right now. Going to be moving into the stretch soon. K-Wolf up front. Saturated making a move. And there's nasty motherfucking Nate. Record 97. And he shouldn't be Director 97. $100. Be wanting all the money.
Oh my
God, and it's Director 97. Back.
Oh my God!
Fresh, take it home. Here's 6-5 Oh God! Saturated. Friedrich's gonna come home with it. Is it Billy Friedrich's time? Is it his time? No, it's not. Cody Norton maybe was doing the fight with his wife. Doing the fight. How dare you throw the ace down? Does Coin have enough space to get home? Or will Daby take care of business? Here comes the show. A third win for Director 97.
But Connor Mack picks out. He might be blowing his load a little bit too early. Is anybody? The contestant, here comes Iron Eagle out of nowhere. Iron Eagle.
It's a packed race. 5 seconds. Crystal from the back. Crystal. The naturally won the match.
Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm not cracking, we stacking. Chips, all of this, what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated Pub Sports Radio. Time to get educated, who can produce, pay the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call the truth. They're getting slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and Low Baggers in the chat. That's a little weapon cause we need, oh yeah, pubbing.
We be pubbing!
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, August 7th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. 17 games on today's MLB card. The rest of the week, we have NFL, Olympic basketball, CFL. But today is all fully MLB. It is all We're diamond chasing here today and looking to get that cash. We got afternoon ball. We got Jose Bouet and Daby Cab ready to rock. And I'm very thankful to be back in business with you guys. Things are going to heat up around Pub Sports Radio with college football and NFL on the horizon. Justin McKelvey ready to get to work. Stacks play today. Braves team total over 4.5 for our guy Justin. Let me make sure I can copy and paste all of the PODs so we can peruse them and discuss them as we go through today's card. Joseph Thompson, I can't use coarse language until about 8 minutes into our show, so I can't say his play of the day yet. But I can tell you what, it's been very, very hot. 13-3 run on overs, and he's got 2 of them, and I'm on one of them with him. And I barely bet overs. I'm on that Red Sox Royals over with you, Joseph Thompson. One of only 2 bets that I've made today. There were so many bets that I wanted, but the market just didn't align and was going against a lot of the bets that I wanted. Now, Daby Cab is coming on for Astros Rangers. And just to take things to another level, I had a dream about this Astros Rangers game and Kikuchi start. I had a dream. Let me fix this. I had a dream about the Orioles Blue Jays game with Trevor Rogers. Now, I wanted to bet Kikuchi, but I had a dream about this Rogers game because this line has moved heavily towards the Blue Jays. And so I want to back Trevor Rogers. You guys know I do. I want to fade the Blue Jays. You guys know I do. And I haven't bet it yet. And I had a dream. And in the dream, I'm beating myself up because the Orioles win 8-1 in my dream last night. Orioles beat the Jays 8-1. And I'm like, why didn't I move on it? Why does the market scare me so much? I did not have a dream about the Rangers Astros. And that is Daby Cab's first game. But I wanted to back Kikuchi and the Astros. There's a bunch of spots that I wanted to back, but I just couldn't. And it was hopefully we'll talk it out and then we'll attack. Pig Milk play today. Phillies team total over 4.5 to get to Gavin Stone. It's too bad that I didn't take the first 5 over 3.5 and full game over 7, which was my plan in Tyler Phillips's last start. And we talked about it here. We talked about, how incredibly well he'd been pitching, but I talked about how he was leaving. He's leaving Philadelphia. Daby Cab talked about how he pitched back-to-back no-hitters. And I was like, well, did you pitch him in the same park? And he said, yes. And, of course, he got completely destroyed last game against the light-hitting Mariners. Joey Harb in the house, ready to get to work. Crystal Craig says Sour that lost the POD yesterday. Can't believe the Orioles only got 3 hits off Chris Bassett. The Orioles are not playing good ball. Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper Capper in the house. Viper NB and the Dapper Capper play today. Yankees -1.5 at -140 to get his card started. We're filled with afternoon action today. It's going to be it's a lot of fun. Clark Edge in the house, under 8 in Atlanta, Milwaukee. So that's a bet that I can't wait to talk about that game. We just saw these pitchers face off against each other, and I was pretty fortunate to cash the first 5 over in the full game over. And I like Peralta. You guys know that. I've always liked him. And in fact, 2 years ago, I was saying he was the best pitcher in this Brewer staff. But who's harder to face 5 days later? Chris Sale, the way he's throwing right now, or Peralta. I just think that I want the Braves first 5, but I would have to take a -0.5, and then you have to trust their offense, and I look forward to talk it out. Series business ready to go. Spreadsheet dog play of the day is in Ron Crawford on the Red Sox. Red Sox at +125 against the Royals, against Raggins. It's Cutter Crawford. I can't wait to hear Jose's breakdown on Cutter Crawford today. In the last 3 starts, Cutter Crawford has thrown 15 innings and allowed 12 home runs. 12 home runs in 15 innings. That's not a typo. If you go back to his 4 starts back, he shut out these Royals over 7 innings. In the last 3 starts, he's been absolutely destroyed. It's a very, very interesting spot Very interesting spot. Crystal Craig play day is the San Diego Padres team total over 4.5 over there at even money. Let's get that copied and pasted and locked in. Nate Dogg 420 slow jams. Arsenal says, what up, hustlers? Nate Dogg. Morgan Spooner moving on 5 plays. Let's get them all locked in. Ohtani over 1.5 bases. Houston Astros money line. Guardians game 1 money line. Guardians game 1 team total over 3.5. And Gunnar Henderson or Anthony Santander 2 homer. Let's get this all copied and pasted. Morgan, thank you for sharing that with us. Get that locked in. Nuke worker. Heading to the Ajax Downs for some quarter horses. Post time 1:30. You know what, Nuke? I went to Grand River and bet standard bread for the first time in my life. Went to Grand River for Industry Day, and it was incredible. Walked in with just $150 in cash. Walked out with $690 in cash. It was glorious, absolutely glorious, and it was too hot for everybody I was with, so they all left, and it was just me and my dirty water and some standard bred horses. Talk to nobody, no new friends, and get that cash. And I accomplished all of those goals. My dude ready to go. Kong's Clips. Kong smash play of the week. Mariscal and Zalal on -132. Kong's Clips heating up. You're damn right. You are heating up. You know, I've said horrible things about standard bred racing over the years on our horse racing shows. And I really enjoyed it. I made a lot of money and I really enjoyed it. So I think I'm going to not say as many horrible things as I do about those, chain smoking booze bags that they call drivers. Kelly, and I was so funny. I guess maybe I needed everybody to leave for me to yell at the drivers. I did do a little bit of that on my own. It's very strange when you're heckling anything alone. I've never done that. I've always heckled, for a lot, and I wasn't really heckling. But I was yelling at drivers. You could tell I was got to be intoxicated to heckle drivers alone. Johnny K. Mexican Elvis in the house says big MLB card today. Markel Fabiano, truth teller. My dude ready to go. Troy Torrance in the house. Viper says only Jimmy would be dreaming about dudes. No, I didn't dream. I did only about the score. I wasn't dreaming about diving grabs and huge homers. I didn't see them play, but the score came back and it was 8-1. I was dreaming about my action. That's what happens when you're struggling in MLB. It sticks in your head. It's bothersome. Very, very bothersome. Very bothersome. LJ from H-Town Astros team total over 4.5. Kong says bet the final score 8-1. Mexican Elvis says Diamondbacks money line is favorite play for ain't nothing but a hound dog play today. Nice. I like all of this. I have not seen Mexican Elvis in our chat, but I tell you, I like all of it. I'm going to copy and paste it. Here we go. I like all of it. Gifted Cartel in the house. Great to see all you guys. We got Gerald Jones. We got Rodney Barton. AOD. Kong's Clips talking about heel over 10 or more Ks. And Troy Torrance says short home dogs in division line moving towards them have been awful historically. Look, hopefully we talk it out and I get there. My dude says thanks for the Stampeders bet. My dude, been waiting to say that. Thank you, my dude. My dude, that was only fun if you live bet the game. And live betting was glorious. I mean, the Stampeders completely took over in the fourth quarter. The question is, what do we do? They play against each other this week. It's a very interesting week. I probably handled the CFL card poorly this week. I wanted the Red Blacks. They went to -125 to -115. We were wondering, who's going to be a quarterback for the Rough Riders, trying to figure that out. It turns out, it'll be Shea Patterson again. And now that's moved to 3 and -170. But I'm very pensive about backing CFL teams after the bye weeks. They all just leave. They're not getting paid a lot of money. They all just leave for the week to come back. And I just don't see them locked in. It makes me nervous. And then again, we just saw the Lions get shut out after that. And then I was trying to find out because I still fear Vernon Adams Jr. I mean, is he going to play this week? And then when he's not playing, there's a 5.5 point swing. But I still moved on it. Elks first half money line, full game money line -110 each. I'm going to fade Dolegal. I do not believe, but we did see him have a couple good games last year, so we'll talk all about that. Red Girl in the house. UPK Ayash Yala ready to go. Great to see all of you guys. Chill Will ready to eat. The nuke worker Jermaine Connolly, Jay Peasy. Great to see all of you guys. So thank you for joining us. Gifted Cartel Rob McMahon. It's great to see all you guys. I'm looking forward to everything here because things are going to tighten up, and we're going to be doing a bunch of announcing for what's going on with college football, NFL football. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. DC Capper says, been crushing it last few weeks. Haven't lost a play of the day. I love to hear that. DC Capper. Great to see all of you guys. Let's get to work, shall we? Old E in the house says, sweating balls on the job site, but listening. Hope everyone gets that cash today. Love you, Old E. Shout out to Old E, working his ass off, still wanting to cap this card. There's Top Set, Mr. Heat. Great to see all of you guys. Pistol Pete Loshak had a winning day yesterday. He continues to deliver. So shout out to Peter for holding it down with Jose yesterday. And he is now up 13.3 units on the season with a 5% ROI in MLB. So shout out to our friend Peter Loshak. And let's get to work right now. Please welcome from San Antonio, Texas, the star of MLB programming here on our channel. San Antonio, Texas, home of the Southtown 101, the best bar in Texas. Please welcome none other than Mr. Jose Bouet to the telecast. Jose, how are you?
I'm doing well, Jimmy. It's nice to see you. How are you?
I am good. I'm ready to rock. I'm good. I'm good. And the family is going away here, so it'll just be
where are they going?
Me and capping. They're going up to Wasaga Beach. Yeah. It's not as good.
Everyone knows about lovely Wasaga Beach. Come on.
It's not as good as it sounds, but it will give me 48 hours of just straight capping. And that's helpful because we got NFL preseason. We have CFL. We have Olympic semifinals in basketball. We got a lot of work. Red Girl, yes, I believe he is okay. Is there something you know that I don't know?
Yeah, I think he's still tweeting, Red Girl.
Yeah, I'm not. I've had no reason to be alarmed, but I will copy and paste this and I will look into it.
I do hate to report that Justin did in fact lose another stake bet to me, I believe.
How many?
I don't know. I don't know, Justin. If you want to still count that stake bet, we had a pitching change late there, but it's up to you there, Justin. But,
that voids the stake bet, man.
Yeah, he's the one. Yeah, I thought so too. He's the one saying that I beat him again. But I bet the under in the Orioles game. Of course, Grayson goes out. So,
yeah, that goes away. That goes away. So, Jose Bouet, you have done well since I've been gone. I have continued to struggle, but you are very close to the black. Let's get you in the black here. Justin McCullough says a loss is a loss. I don't think so, Justin, because your books would have canceled the bet.
Yeah, my books canceled my bets.
So I don't think so. I respect, as always, I respect how Justin handles himself, as always.
Of course,
yes. I don't think so.
Don't worry.
Okay. Stephen Fehrenbach says Jose said today would be the spot to take the Royals.
Yeah, left-handed starter.
Do you still believe that?
I am probably going to bet the Red Sox today, Steve. I hate to break that news to you.
They're hitting 288 with a 967 OPS versus lefties.
Yeah, no, I saw their numbers, and especially since the All-Star break as well. Their number, I think they're the second or the first best team against lefties. I still have my guard up because I'm telling you guys, their record against left-handed starters was not good. And Bet Rivers didn't void your bet, Justin. Jesus, Bet Rivers is man, that's fucked.
You can't let those bets go to action. Can't do it. But Jose Bouet, it is time to get to work. We have Daby Cab joining us here for Astros, Rangers, Kikuchi, Jose Urena. I want the Astros
going to be amazing, by the way.
Sorry, say that.
I'm a little worried that Kikuchi's we shit. I kind of shit on the trade, how it was an overpay and such. Kikuchi just might just go out there and be amazing. Who the fuck knows?
He might. He might. He did allow those 2 runs early. I thought we were in business. Again, that was the first 5 plus a half that I didn't take. I took the first 5 at plus 140. That was 2-2 after 5. He did have 11 straight strikeouts. He did look very good. The Rangers have been hitting lefties. We'll get to that game with Daby Cab here, but we start with a double dip. 1:10 p.m. Eastern with the Arizona Diamondbacks, 61-52, 30-27 on the road. At the Cleveland Guardians, 67-45, 35-18 at home at Progressive Field in Cleveland, Ohio. There was a pitching change. This was supposed to be Cookie Carrasco. It moved to Ben Lively. So I don't think it is important to look at the cash flow because the cash flow will tell us not the true story. So I don't want to even look at it. In the line history, you can see when Lively was put in, how it changed everything.
Oh, real quick, Jimmy, can I interrupt you for a second?
Yes, of course.
Quick shout out to Morgan Spooner. Morgan Spooner yesterday said he had the biggest bet of his season on the Astros. I was unfortunately on the Rangers yesterday, but he had the biggest bet of his season yesterday on the Astros. And, of course, Framber almost goes out there and throws a no-hitter. So shout out to you, Morgan.
Framber, of course. I backed him last week on the under, but this week he throws the no-no. It's just the way my season.
Yeah, I mean, we fucking 1 out away from it. Fuck.
Yeah, but to tell you guys the change with this was plus 122. They found out it wasn't going to be Cookie Carrasco. It was going to be Ben Lively, and this moves to minus 108. They go from dog to favorite. Since that move, there's been 4 cents of movement towards Cleveland, but that's what we should consider it, just 4 cents of movement. On the total here, the under's at minus 112, and this moved to 7.5 as soon as this was announced, Jose. Now it's up to 8, so there's actually been a half-run move to the over. So let's go. And Kong's Clips actually bet him for a no-hitter. Oh, my goodness. That's absolutely that one. That's tough. That's absolutely tough.
What odds did you get for that, Kongs? I'm interested. That's crazy.
Nate Dogg leaning over, but I think there's going to be early rain. Let's take a look at the weather here off the hop here. Doesn't say that there's going to be early rain on this. Jose, what is RotoWire saying? Is it in red?
Let me refresh real quick just to make sure. Nope, we're good to go.
Yeah, I was not a privy of any. Yeah, 0%. No, there's no worries about any rain or anything like that. 10.2 miles per hour in and gets up to 12.7 miles per hour in. So it's bending in. We have Brandon Pfaadt going up against Ben Lively. Pfaadt 5 and 6, 3.97 ERA, 1.13 WHIP, 118 Ks, 28 walks, and 15 home runs allowed. He's been good this year. He had a bad start. He's come on. His last start, 3 earned runs over 5 innings in a 9-8 win at the Pirates. On the road, he's been worse than he's been at home. 1 and 4, 4.37 ERA, 239 opponents batting average. Ben Lively 10 and 6, 3.42 ERA, 1.15 WHIP. Last start, 6 innings, 2 earned runs in a 10-3 win at home versus the Orioles. You know, I know that we're focusing on baseball, and I love to do it, but good God, would I like to get up to Ajax Downs beside the nuke worker and start drinking. I just hammer some quarter horses with the nukester. Oh, good God, would that be glorious? Sorry, let's get back to work here. Ben Lively here, pitching very, very, very well. A Cheshire Cat in the house. Nice to see you. Robert Cherry ready to go. At home, Lively's being excellent. 6-1, 2.70 ERA, 228 opponents batting average. Diamondbacks are raking right now. 282 with a 920 OPS. Guardians just 236, 51. Now, I've moved my stats from July 15th on, so we've cut 15 days out of that, so stats are a little different. For all of our righty-lefty stats, for all of our bullpen stats, it's from July 15th to now. And the Guardians aren't hitting 236, 51. It's hard to say that because I see them smacking the ball nonstop, getting every ball in play, being a very tough out. The Guardians bullpen continues to be excellent. 2.83 ERA, 1.11 WHIP since July 15th, while the Diamondbacks 4.30 ERA, 1.43 WHIP. Shout out to Brian Watson and NJ Stryker and Guillermo Zertucci in the house. Take it away.
He'd appreciate some quarter horses.
Yes, because he was of course. There's some decent quarter horse racing in Los Angeles at Los Alamitos. But take it away for us here, Jose Bouquet, Diamondbacks, Guardians.
You know, there's also some lovely quarter horse races live. Retama Park, baby.
Yeah.
Come on. Shout out to them. Yes, and another quick shout out, by the way, to the chat yesterday, because the chat was on fire yesterday. First, Troy Torrance. Troy Torrance just basically told me to shut up and bet Cubs first 5 money line. Did it. Cashed. Great job, Troy. Shout out to you. Billy Friedrich on the other side of Chicago. His pig milk. White Sox first 5 plus a half. We doubled up and took first 5 money line. And the crazy part about that, Jimmy, that line moved very dramatically towards the A's, and that first 5 plus a half did not move barely at all, and we smacked the shit out of that. So shout out to you guys in the chat again for having such a great day, Morgan Spooner, etc. This game, I think I'm staying off of. I mean, obviously, I like backing our guy Brandon Pfaadt here. Ben Lively has been a very backable pitcher as well, because it seems like you can get the Guardians at a discount when he pitched as well. The issue, the line, like you said, the line movement and the line of history kind of screwy in this game. I wouldn't even I think I'm a little surprised again that Eduardo Rodriguez wasn't starting in this game. They're pushing him to game 2. So we'll see what happens there. But I'm staying off this game, and I'm staying off the other game as well, which is going to be an interesting one because of Eduardo, obviously.
Well, these are 2 quality pitchers. The wind is blowing in heavy. You probably have somewhat watered down lineups knowing that there's a double dip.
There's confirmed lineups out right now for game 1.
Yes, Juan Martinez, Ramirez, Naylor, Lane Thomas, Jimenez, Heeman, Rocchio, and Naylor for the Guardians. For the Diamondbacks, Carroll, Marte, Jock Peterson, Josh Bell, Gurriel, Suarez, Thomas, Perdomo, and Herrera.
It just really feels like these teams are kind of like mirror images of each other, honestly. Like they have very similar tendencies, both these teams, and I don't want to back either one of them, honestly. Both 2 good pitching teams, but their offenses are kind of meh. So, full game, I had to go Guardians, though, just because you have a bullpen advantage.
But you haven't moved on it?
No.
I have some interest in this first 5 under here. These are 2 very quality pitchers. I was very impressed with Lively the last start against the Orioles. Now he's got consecutive starts at home in his comfort zone. And the Guardians just aren't hitting that much. I feel like it's but then you would need to get the first 5 under 4.5. You'd need the win at 2-2 or 3-1. And then it's
2 things. Shout out to Cheshire Cat for the super sticker.
Thank you,
BJ comes in. Kansas City Royals money line. Best bet, 5 units. It's going to be a tough game. I have to fight my homer instincts. I have to fight.
Well, it's all about what Cutter Crawford is going to do. I mean, again, that last start against the Royals, he shuts them out, and that was just 4 weeks ago, and then he gets bombarded in the last 3 starts. So, okay, so I got that, BJ. Thank you, my man. Well, let's just see what that first 5 under 4.5 will cost here in game 1. Minus 119. That means the market's kind of slightly moving towards the over right now, because that was just a minus 121 and it was plus 107 to the over. I like that. I feel like these 2 pitchers, and also, it's just going to be sort of stagnant. You have an Arizona West Coast team playing at 10 a.m. for them. Why don't we just take a look? I said we weren't going to look at the cash flow, but now I want to see it. We have 97% and 92 on the over, 3% and 8% on the under, 66% ticket, 68% cash on the Guardians. Oh, look at that. Linda in the house. It's been a long time. Great to see you, Linda. Thank you for joining us.
Hello,
okay,
Linda.
So, and look at that. Sharpie on Pfaadt under 3.5 Ks at plus 114.
Sharpie, who notorious does not like betting K-prop unders either. Shout out to you.
Mexican Elvis says you can't ignore the bats for the D-backs. Don't get it complicated. Got D-backs for the win here, says Mexican Elvis. Okay, so I'm going to move on this first 5 under 4.5. which leads us into game 2. I've got to get this bet in because I'll just get carried away and forget about it. So I'm going to get it in right now, Jose. So why don't you take us through game 2 of the double dip? Again, Eduardo Rodriguez, who we've already touched on, has been out since spring training with these left shoulder issues and does not make any rehab starts.
Yes, we talked about it yesterday. Insanity. It's insanity. Nice. I don't know how anyone can do it. I don't know how he could do it. I don't know how the coaches are just like, yeah, fuck it. Just go out there. I think it's all nuts. But, whatever. They're going to try it out. I'm not going to back the guy here. The issue, obviously, on the other side is I don't really want to back Cookie either. So maybe just at the end of the day, we're betting it over in this game. But yeah, 60-day IL for Eduardo Rodriguez. Shoulder injury. One of the worst things, a pitcher can have. And he has no rehab starts. Sure, again, maybe he's thrown 10 bullpens. Who cares? Throwing bullpens is not the same as facing live batters. And it's not even the same as facing, major league, minor league batters. Like, just those are all steps up in this thing. And maybe he pitches well here, sure. But if he pitches well here, I would be much more happy and willing to fade him in his next start here for sure. Because the first start, you obviously have the unknown factor. The Guardians they can look at his videos from the last few years, but they don't really know what to expect from Eduardo, so the unknown factor definitely is a little scary for me, but I simply cannot and will not back a pitcher that comes off the 60-day IL with zero, rehab starts. And yes, we've talked about this as well throughout the year as well. Blake Snell talking about missing spring training and how hard it is, how it affected Jordan Montgomery as well. It is just a complete stay-off spot for me on a Diamondback side here. Now, let's check out the market in this game because this game might be a little more telling market-wise. It's, obviously tough to tell generally game 2s and, doubleheaders before game 1s, but 71% of the bets, only 49% of the money on the Guardians, So bigger bets seemingly on the Diamondbacks. This line opened up at scroll minus 115, now minus 110. So slight movement here. We'll see. It actually got up to minus 125 at one point, but it feels like that is more pitcher chicanery than line movement there, because it kind of feels like, they obviously swapped whatever Lively to game 1 switching. So we'll see how that works out, but we'll see. I'm staying off this game. Totals market. Let's go into that real fast as well. 96% of the bets, 95% of the money on the over. If I had to bet an over on this 2 doubleheaders, it'd definitely be this one over the first one. I'll tell you that one. So no action here for me. I want to watch game 1. I kind of hope the Diamondbacks win game 1 so then I can fade them in game 2, but nothing for you for me so far, Jimmy.
Yeah, we know that Rodriguez is very confident, dude. So he is
a veteran at this point
and a confident guy. So he made the call on this one. Slatsy says the Dreams going the Orioles game pays 65-1.
Slatsy, if I need someone to put that bet in for me, I gotta throw some. I can't bet that with any of my books.
With $5 on it.
Yeah. I need to throw like $10 on that thing just because, for the content alone. Imagine if Jimmy's just That's So Raven. Imagine if Jimmy's just like a truth teller and he just can see scores and we bet the scores and he just comes to life. What if Jimmy can just predict the future? Who knows?
Sorry, did you use That's So Raven as the example?
Yeah. A reference I'm sure everyone in the chat will get.
Okay. Shout out Paul Thompson in the house. Paul, we will talk about horses here very soon. I know some big races coming up here. Let's just God, that's his pop culture examples are just horrific here. Skunt Blaster says you need a timeout. So back to this, Cookie Carrasco coming off that great start, and you sort of saw it. The market kind of hinted at it, and you were like, "Look, we trust this Guardians brass. They're a pitching factory. They keep putting him out there every 5 days. He must, have decent peripheral numbers." And he did. So I'm going to, I guess, stay off this spot, as well. I have no idea what Eduardo Rodriguez is going to do. But what are the Guardians doing to lefties over the last 14 days here? Because I accidentally have them both sides against righties. What are they doing against lefties the last 14 days?
I can give you, since the All-Star break, a little bigger of a sample. The Guardians are 17th, 105 weighted runs created plus, and 222 plate appearances. Since the 28th to today, which is about a week and a half, Cleveland 128 weighted runs created plus and 105 plate appearances there. So seemingly they've got to someone here that's left-handed in the last few days. And if you want to even make it smaller, since only the month of August, 37 plate appearances, 184 weighted runs created plus, fourth best in the league right there.
And Mikey Money saying the Cookie Monster Carlos Carrasco, when total is less than 8, 16-4 to the over. Sharpie saying Rodriguez built up to 65 pitches, should go 5, 75 top. Slim Belvedere in the house. Bankroll Spence ready to get to work. And
I would be shocked if Eduardo Rodriguez made it to the 5th inning in this game, not based off like pitch count or whatever, just based off quality. I think I would just be shocked. Again, he going straight into major league batters is nuts. I just cannot believe it. And I can't wait to watch him succeed or fail.
All right. Well, let's roll on. I did move, and I did not get minus 119 on the first 5 under 4.5. That was wishful thinking. You press the button and it changes. At minus 123, I got on that minus or under 4.5. First 5 under 4.5 in game 1. All right, let's roll on. 2:20 p.m. Eastern with the Minnesota Twins 63-49, 31-28 on the road. Chicago Cubs 56-60, 31-27 at home, Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Joe Ryan going up against Javier Assad, the Tijuana product. Joe Ryan 7-7, 3.59 ERA, 0.99 WHIP, 145 Ks and 133 innings. He has set such a high bar for himself that I feel like he's not had a good season, but he has.
Joe Ryan?
Yeah, but he has. A 0.99 whip is excellent. But his last start was good. He hadn't had many good starts for a while, but it was at home versus the White Sox. You should have a good start in that situation. And he kind of still labored a bit, 6 1/3, 3 walks, but 7 strikeouts, allowed 1 jack, got the job done. On the road, he's been better than he's been at Target. On the road, 2-4, 3.26 ERA, 221 opponent's batting average, just 13 walks over 66 and a third. Javier Assad, 3.19 ERA, 89 strikeouts, but 45 walks. He's looked a little bit more vulnerable of late, but only making it through 4 innings in that victory, 6-3 victory at home against Cardinals. He's been great at home all year. 2.20 ERA, 228 opponent's batting average, but there is that K to walk statistic jumping out. He's only allowed 4 home runs, 49 innings, but 40 strikeouts and 28 walks. And the Twins are a patient group, hitting 266, 858 OPS versus righty since July 15th, while the Cubs are just 214, 639. The problem is the Twins bullpen's falling apart. 6.17 ERA, 1.41 WHIP since July 15th, while the Cubs bullpen has been the best in baseball for the last 6 weeks. And since July 15th, they've been great. 1.95 ERA, 0.97 WHIP. So let's take a look at the weather in Chicago. 74 Fahrenheit, 15.5 miles per hour is in. Dives down to 13.3, but it's all in and it's all heavy. Let's get into the line history here then for this Twinkies Cubbies spot. We have a 7 on the board. This opened up under 7 at plus 104. Now it's under 7 at minus 105. Let's get to the money line here. Plus 122 on the Cubbies. They open up at plus 122 there, still at plus 122. And on the total here, again, I just want to see first 5. We've talked about the full game. I want to see first 5. We have a 3.5, under 3.5. is plus 103 to the under. It was plus 107. Very, very interesting spot here. Take it away for us, Jose Bouet. Twinkies, Cubs.
Yeah, excuse me. I think I'm staying off this game as well, but I'll put the red flag up for Assad here. First year as a starter. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Troy, but 109 innings pitched is his career high last year. He's at 98.2 now. So we're going to get to that point where it's going to get started a little worrisome innings-wise to see how he does. But I just ultimately have to stay off. Yeah, I think this is a Joe Ryan spot. Shout out to Troy in the Cubs first five yesterday. They remain a really good first five team here. But I'm going to stay off this game too. The over 7 is appealing to me. Joey Harb as well. We saw that low 6 get obliterated. It was quite funny to watch. And it was one of those cases, Jimmy, that it was people would think betting and the line being so low because there was heavy winds in instead of capping the pitching matchup, I guess. It was, Pablo Lopez and Shota, obviously 2 good pitchers, but probably 2 pitchers that don't deserve a 6. So I'm staying off this game as well. We'll talk about another low total here again today, which will be very
another 6 on the board, don't we?
Yeah, and guess what? Spoiler alert, that one I think I'm going to move on the under.
Wow. Well,
I think it's a case that they put out that 6 yesterday. It gets smashed to the over. Everyone's going to bet the over here today, and the books get paid again with under money here, or over money, I should say.
I feel more comfortable with the under here. And I don't know if I can get there, but I'm sorry about from yesterday's low total. Okay. I don't know. I'm going to leave this as a question mark here.
Oh my gosh. Apparently Sharpie's seeing 5.5s now.
My goodness.
That's crazy.
Oh. That's incredible. That's incredible. All right. I have some interest in this first 5 under 3.5. The show should be over by 2:20 p.m. Eastern. So, we'll see how it all bangs out. Before we get to our next spot on the board here, it is the birthday of a friend of ours here on our channel, Tim Steves, who isn't with us. And this Sunday, we're doing the Tim Steves Poker Classic at his house, at his poker table.
Yeah, can I play via FaceTime?
No, but I just got the trophy engraved and set up. I'm picking it up today. They don't know about it. It's always fun. It's always fun when you get to a final table and put some gloves on and show up with the trophy. People, they lose their minds. Oh yeah, put gloves on and then bring out a trophy. People lose their minds. They don't expect you to care so much as to get a trophy done. So Tim Steves would be 60 years old today. We have him on our YouTube homepage for the Love of Balls sketch show that he did for us. And I miss him very, very much. He would be 60 years old today if he was physically with us. But again, when we have friends and family members die, we have to talk about them. Talk about them as much as possible. Say their name and talk about them and keep them alive in spirit. Tim Steves, good God, I wish I could have some Johnny Walker Black with you to celebrate your birthday today. But we will have Johnny Walker Black. So that's also, so when we bring out the final table, the trophy comes out, the big bottle of Johnny Walker Black comes out too for us all. It's gonna be a special. I mean, it's gonna be a heavy night, but a special night.
Even my mouth's salivating right now.
Little Johnny Walker Black never hurt nobody. Actually, it has probably hurt lots of people. Steves, we love you and happy birthday. Okay. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board and bring on our first guest. Man has been running very hot on Medicate Mondays. We need it here. But he's been running very hot on Medicate Mondays. We know how these things work. Everything either progresses or regresses. If his numbers on our show aren't nearly like his numbers over the season, then his numbers on the show will improve. And I bet they improve right here. here. Cheshire Cat, thank you so much for the dono, my friend. Blessing our action. Please welcome from Dallas, Texas, our friend, Dabra Cadabra, to the show. Dabby, how are you?
Good, Jimmy. Not just hot, man. I ran up a few thousand in the last few days, and it was a much-needed couple grand for my bank account. Much needed. I've been betting a little bit bigger in baseball, and let's say it again, much needed. So it was a very good past, very good past few days. We're gonna keep it rolling. Player props have been hot. Shout out to everybody in the chat, but let's get rolling.
Oh, I hear you, man. Like I only picked up like 540 profit at the track, and I was still like, oh, thank God.
Yes,
I did come to that, but fuck, baseball's just hurt. It's hurt.
That's good to hear, Jimmy. I know.
He's not going to help that much, but it's something. Plus,
yeah, you're chipping away.
One day at a time, boys. One day at a time.
By the shout out to Raymond Reichart. By the way, he's in Vegas this weekend, and he's live in the chat from Caesars Sportsbook.
Nice, man. Love that place. Caesars feels like home. It was home until I had children. So enjoy it. Please enjoy it. Stack up those drinks, and also the most hideous wait staff I've ever seen, and it's because of union jobs. And we respect union jobs. And if that creates hideous servers, 65 and up giants, that's all good.
So
we
be it.
Respect the unions.
Protect our workers.
It's a dope mug.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's get to work.
I kind of like your hat, Cabby. If it wasn't a Yankees hat, I would like it a little more. I kind of like it though.
I like the colors. Couldn't help it.
Nasty Nate with questions, but let's stay focused here. Astros, Rangers, Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. We have Yusei Kikuchi in the house. Yeah, Raymond, do it up nice, man. Do it up nice. We have my dude's play of the day. It is Altuve over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs here. Altuve over hits, runs, RBIs. And I also, for the plays of the day, if I missed them when we talk about the game, I apologize. I should go back through them again. Mexican Elvis on that Diamondback spot, and Morgan Spooner on the Guardians in game 1. It's my mistake just because I didn't put them in to the games. I just put them all in a list. So we'll go back over all of them. But my dudes play of the day here on Altuve. So we have Kikuchi. His first start as an Astro was very good. It must have excited them very much. Kikuchi hasn't been that good this year. Hasn't been very good on the road this year. 4.69 ERA, 293 opponent's batting average. And then, now, look, I don't know how important this is, and maybe Daby Cab can touch on this. And I don't like talking about it that much, but he has been destroyed in the daytime this year. 1-5, 6.06 ERA. But the exact same opponent's batting averages he's had on the road. Jose Urena, I don't know what fairy dust was sprinkled on him this year. It makes no sense to me. It finally came to an end. Remember, this guy could have been picked up for a cup of coffee off of any team in the league could have had him for a cup of coffee for nothing. And he pitched well enough so that the Rangers ditched Lorenzen. But it, came to an end here. 4 innings, 8 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 Ks, no walks, 11-6 loss at home. Astros first righty since July 15th week, and we've seen it. 232, 666 OPS. The back half of that order is doing nothing. Rangers versus lefties, 269, 764. Astros bullpen has been good, 3.46 ERA, 1.32 whip, while the Rangers bullpen, 4.50 ERA, 1.47 whip. There's Dutch Boy fresh in the house. Great to see you, Dutchy, my man. Keep an eye out on all of our college football breakdowns that Dutch is delivering on our homepage. So let's get into the line history and talk about this stuff because I want to fade Urena so badly. This total is sitting at 9. It went up to 9.5 for a cup of coffee this morning. This wasn't available to 7:35 this morning. So there's been 3 cents of movement towards the under. On the money line, we have Kikuchi at minus 126. So now there's been a move. Wow. Good God, I was waiting for this move. Wasn't happening. And now it's happening. That's annoying. That's so annoying. I mean,
Moving to the Astros, right?
oh yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, 14-cent move towards the Astros, which makes perfect sense to me. That is extremely annoying. I was waiting for that. Okay, take it away for us here. Dabra, Kadabra. Astros, Rangers.
At the beginning of the season, Jimmy, if you told me that these two teams were going to be playing a game right now, 3 or 4 games apart from each other, hell, 5 games apart from each other, I would have said, what an exciting baseball game to be a part of. That is not the case whatsoever. We've got 2 bums on the mound, and we've got 2 teams that can't hit their own ass with both their hands right now. I mean, literally, they have been just atrocious at the plate. And I'm going to be honest, I don't have a bet on the under, but with the way these 2 teams have been hitting, you look at some of the trends, their last 4 meetings have gone under. The Astros are 65-44 to the under this year as their overall record. Both teams are averaging less than 9 runs per game between the 2 of them if you put them together. And I'm shocked that I'm saying this, but both bullpens have been outstanding. Both of these bullpens have been great. Saying that for the Rangers bullpen is it's weird to say. I would think that would be the problem. Out of the 2 starters, I trust Kikuchi here. I think that this might be a spot for him to maybe get his first solid start for the Astros. I think the Astros are probably the side that you want to pick up here. Rangers are just spinning their wheels at this point. I've been saying it for a while, but I'm just waiting for them to have the complete fall off. Mariners keep winning baseball games while these 2 teams keep playing around in the mud. And yeah, it's getting bad. Where I'm at this game, I think I'm going to take the Astros on the money line. I haven't done it yet. I am going to be with my guy Alvarez. He is 0 for 6 off Urania, but let's look into these numbers a little bit. He has a ball that he hit 107.3 miles per hour. He has a ball that he hit 105 miles per hour, and he has a ball that he hit 101 miles an hour. So he's 0 for 6 with 3 balls that he's hit over 100 miles per hour. Yeah, today he's going to get one. He's going to put it in somewhere. And anybody who's been paying attention, we're 3-0 on our last 3 bets on Seager the last 3 days. I hit the Vladimir Guerrero prop, and then I also hit the Ohtani prop. So I've actually hit my last 5 props. Today we're going to make it 6 in a row.
Okay.
It's plus 106 too.
Let's lock that in for you. And it's Seager.
No, sir. It's Alvarez. I'm off Seager today. I've hit him 3 days in a row. I'm going to be off today.
Okay. And it's just hits, runs, and RBIs or bases?
Total bases. And I just want to point out to everybody too, I've cashed Seager literally 3 days in a row. I want to bet him again. I'm not going to do it. It doesn't line up for what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something specific when I bet these props.
First 5, over a half or minus a half. I'm looking at Daby's got Alvarez over 1/2 bases. And again, remember, Alvarez has been raking on the road. What is the number on it? Plus what?
Plus 106.
Plus 106 for Daby Cab. Okay, take it away here for us, Jose Bouet, Astros Rangers.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Troy. The line movement makes it feel like it's just bet the Astros here. I was on the Rangers last 2 days, 1-1. Kind of accept that, but yeah, it does seem like a Kikuchi and Astros spot here today to get the win in the series. Rangers against lefties since the All-Star break. 115 weighted runs created plus 154 plate appearances. So that's a little worrisome. It's probably going to lead me to stay off. I just think that Urania is just not going to be able to be good enough to get these Astros bats out honestly. And that's ultimately what I think the difference maker will be. I think it'll be an over kind of ball game. Maybe Kikuchi gives up some runs here. But I could see this being like a 5-10 Astros win.
I want to show you something today, Jose. Can you watch this game or no?
So I'll figure out a way to watch it, sure.
Okay, so you kind of laughed when I talked about a pitcher that shows the ball for too long. Urania is a perfect example of a pitcher that does that. Watch when he's pitching. Watch how long you can see that baseball beside his head. Because honestly, he's got some filthy stuff. He gets up to the mid to upper 9, or he gets up to the mid 90s. He's got good stuff. He just has too long of a sight to the baseball. That's what his problem is. It's why people hit him.
And the opposite, you hate Cutter Crawford for the opposite. He hides the ball. But
I hate him because the way he short arms it. It's weird. So there is a very happy in between. When you throw the baseball, your arms should drop back behind your head.
yeah.
So
No, I don't like how Cutter Crawford throws either. He's a weirdo.
Hey, our guy Mexican Elvis asked me if I could tell him what I'm looking for these spots. So I'll give you an example for Alvarez. For Alvarez, I'm looking for a pitcher that's low to mid 90s, which we just established that Urania was, right? Low to mid 90s that gives up more fly balls than ground balls. They have a high fly ball rate. Low to mid 90 right-hander with the high fly ball rate. I'm on Alvarez.
Yeah,
Okay.
but this is an Astros spot. I'm just not going to move on it because I don't like moving on first five minus a halves or too juiced first fives.
I moved on the first 5 minus a half of plus 107
Makes sense.
on the Astros. So
I was
Any
very
particular
at first 5 also.
and any particular reason why you're not on full game?
I don't want to double up. So I had to pick which one I was more confident in. And I just look at the numbers against Urena. I can't sit here and believe that. You mean against the Rangers, JPZ? You must mean against the Rangers. I just can't sit here and believe that Urena is a quality pitcher. I can't. I can't believe these home stats. I can't believe what he's been doing. And, I was worried. I'm not worried about what Kikuchi can do on the mound with his arm. I sometimes worry about his head. And he seems like that was a very impressive showing in the last start. Now he gets Astros, Rangers. We'll see. I know his day numbers are terrible. I don't know how much to put into that. His road numbers aren't very good, but I do think that he's got to be inspired, and he showed that with 11 strikeouts in his last start. So, and he knows how much the Astros invested in him.
I agree with that. The nice part about his road woes here is that at least it's in Texas in a dome. It's not going to be open most likely. So it's not going to be like he's melting.
Most likely, it's 300 degrees here. It's not going to be open.
Yeah,
good.
Roof is closed.
Okay, so it's just going to be. I think it'll be like just like he's back at Rogers Center, except in a more hitter friend or offensive suppressing ballpark, I should say.
Yeah, no, I'm with all of that. So you are staying off though, Jose.
Yeah, I'm staying off, but I do think the Astros are the right side. Yeah.
And Daby Cab is on Jordan over 1.5 bases at plus 106. Daby Cab, you rejoin us here for Orioles Blue Jays.
I'd like to hop on for the Pirates Padres also, if that's okay.
Of course. Okay, of course. So then also study the Giants Nats so we can keep you on for all 3 of those games. So It goes Padres, Pirates, Giants, Nats, and then your best bet on Orioles Blue Jays.
Perfect.
Okay, we will see you soon. Daby Cab, wagers in Texas Astros to touch up Urena.
I might get on the Astros by the end of the show. It's been a lot. It makes a whole lot of sense. I mean,
I made this mistake yesterday. I've got to finish the picture here. Sorry.
The picture.
Yeah, it's because I'm sending it in. White Sox, A's at Oakland Coliseum, Oakland, California. We have Davis Martin going up against Joey Estes. Look, I wanted to back Joey Estes at home badly, but this huge market move towards the White Sox just had me off and wanting to listen to what everybody thought. Jose, I got to add something here for this bet.
Go ahead.
Can you take it away for us with White Sox A's?
By the way, Jimmy, looks like Justin's first offer. Can I hop on screen for the Braves breakdown? Justin, what an interesting suggestion. Well, but maybe we can send it in a video. I'd like to see a video.
Love Justin to start coming on screen. We have a couple. We need to do a test.
Exactly.
That's all, Justin. But let's do that tonight.
Yeah,
Justin, I'll send you a link. We'll do a test. We'd love to have you on screen. Love to have you on screen, man.
Yeah,
we need to do a test. I just got to make sure that the upload speed's fast enough, that there's a background, camera, mic, things like that. So,
exactly.
But we'll make that happen. A hundo, we'll make that happen, man. But take it away, Jose.
Perfect. Exactly what I was thinking as well. Test them in some way, and got to test that audio quality. But Justin, I would be excited for that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, Joey Estes, a guy that I've warmed up on. I think you've got me on the Joey Estes train. It's funny, you know, sometimes fathers pass down gambling addictions. Sometimes they pass down alcoholism. In other cases, they pass on the love of mediocre to bad pitchers, like what you've done to me here. Joey Estes, I want to back him here. Am I going to back him at minus 180? No shot. We were on the White Sox yesterday. I tip my hat to the White Sox for getting that win. Am I going to go back to the well here? Probably not, because, you know, they're feeling great about themselves. Everyone's sucking each other's dicks.
Is that what everyone is doing?
Yeah, probably.
That's how
21.
Probably.
Yeah, that's how they celebrate.
Is that how you? Who
That's
celebrates?
how I would celebrate.
Is
Yeah.
that how you would celebrate? Yeah.
Yeah. If I lost 21 straight games and we decided to break that win streak, I'd have to.
Okay, I'm going to take over the breakdown here. We'll see how long I will take it over, but I think it's ripe for me to take over the breakdown. Chicago White Sox, Oakland Athletics, Oakland Coliseum, Oakland, California. The White Sox stopped their winning streak. How did they celebrate? Good question. Good question. I imagine with some beer. Davis Martin's first start of the season, 3 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 3 walks, and a 10-2 loss at the Twins. And Davis Martin, what the hell are we going to get from him is the question. Davis Martin, 14th round pick in the 2018 draft out of Texas Tech, 27 years young. And, you know, I don't trust him. I mean, that's an easy thing to say. You know, he hasn't started much in triple. Oh, welcome back.
Hi.
So Davis Martin here against Joey Estes. White Sox first righty since July 15th, 197, 563 OPS. Joey Estes at home has been lights out. 3-0, 2.25 ERA, 199 opponent's batting average. A's versus righties, 247, 737 OPS. White Sox bullpen, 6.43 ERA, 1.73 whip. They've been horrific. And the A's bullpen, 3.52 ERA, 1.23 whip, have been really strong. So let's take a look at the line history and a Cheshire Cat with a $1.49 dono. I think in celebration of your return to the telecast. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have the A's at minus 178. They opened up at minus 210. If you were gambling on market alone, you would be on the White Sox here. And yes, they got up the schneid. They open up this total at 8.5. It gets up to 9 for a cup of coffee. It's back at 8.5. Only 3 cents of movement. And then when we get to the cash flow here, when we get to the cash flow on this spot, we didn't. I don't know. I think Jose did. Jose talked about that because what had kept me off of the Astros was just 66% of tickets, 39% of the cash. But I've seen the market move now, and I can comfortably move on it. Here, 88% of tickets, 93% of cash on the Oakland A's. 95% tickets, 95% cash on the over. Jose, take it away. You're getting a lot of love in the chat, though, Jose. You've piqued interest. I guess that's what we call it.
Of course, there's interest feigns and comes in waves. I come to say. So thank you, everyone, as always, for your love and all the various ways you show it. But yeah, no, market alone. It's White Sox here again, and I kind of understand, off of a gigantic losing streak. Typically, things kind of fall back to the medium, and you win a couple of games. But I'm not gonna try to even bother and move on this game here. I like Joey Estes, and it keeps. That's the main reason I wanted to bet this game. Now, if this was Drew Thorpe instead of Davis Martin, I'd be in. Because there's 3 pitchers I back on the White Sox. James Cannon, who we saw yesterday. Drew Thorpe, who kind of needs to figure it out a little bit. And then Garrett Crochet on occasion. But I will not be backing my guy, Davis Martin, here.
Yeah, he's a tricky guy to back. I would love to back Estes. I can't do it with this big of a market move.
Yeah,
PC Capper on Fred market move. I respect that.
Good luck, Casey.
I can't do it, unfortunately. Davis Martin is a tricky cap. So is the next pitcher on the Angels, Davis Daniel. Let's roll into that spot here.
Jimmy, this is the easiest cap on the board.
Well, the Angels have been playing good baseball. The problem is that the Yankees are just hitting. Right when we laughed at their lineup, they started hitting.
It's kind of sad.
Let's
they
talk
finally
about
got a cool baseball player. That helped.
Davis Daniel up against Luis Gil. Let's break this down. Davis Daniel, 1-2, 4.91 ERA, 1.18 whip. He's only thrown 22 innings this year, and he's looked very good at times. 19 strikeouts, just 2 walks, allowed 3 jacks. His last start at home versus the Rockies was very good. 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks, 1 walk. But on the road this year, they've been coddling him. And they've been coddling Carson Fulmer as well. Giving them home starts, giving them the best opportunities to succeed. Now, Fulmer spent a lot of the year in the bullpen. Now he's starting. But they've been really handpicking the starts and opportunities for these 2 young guys. He's only had 1 start on the road all year. Davis Daniel, 5 1/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, and a 5-0 loss at the A's. Going up against Luis Gil, who seems to, gotten over that little hiccup midseason, pitching better, coming off that win at Philadelphia. He allowed 3 earned runs over 5 1/3. At home, he's got a 3.23 ERA, 74 strikeouts in just 57 innings with a 172 opponent's batting average. And the Angels are just playing better all around. They're hitting 236, 662 OPS versus righties since July 15th. Now the Yankees, 299, 910. And the Angels bullpen's been really strong for a while. 3.10 ERA, 1.10 whip, while the Yankees bullpen has come back. 3.65 ERA, 1.31 whip. Let's get into the weather here for this one. In the Bronx, 68 Fahrenheit, 9.4 miles per hour in. Dies down to 8.1 by the end of the game. I'll refresh this, being maybe a couple of hours, see if there's any change there. Yeah, now 9.7 in. Dies down to 8.9. Wouldn't mind going back to the Cubs wind if that's changed at all. It's gone down a little bit, 14.4, 13.9. Let's talk about the line history here. This total sitting at 8.5 at a pick'em. It got up to 9 early. Dropped to 8 this morning. Actually, I shouldn't say early because this total didn't come out on Pinnacle till 7:42 a.m. So it went up to 9 and then down to 8. And now there's been 8 cents of movement, on the over. 8 cents of movement on the over. And then when we get to the money line here, we have minus 297 for these New York Yankees, opening up minus 281, 16 cents of movement towards them. And when we get to the cash flow here, we have 91% of the tickets, 81% cash on the over, 9 and 19 on the under. And then 5% of the tickets and 18% of the cash on the Angels. Jose Bouet, take it away, my friend.
Come on board, everyone. I mean, come on. It's a minus 300. Of course, we're on the Angels here. Of course, it makes us feel a lot better when the minus 300 are not against the White Sox. If you took out, I don't have the minus 300 just handy available for me right now, but I'm sure if I took out all the White Sox bets from the minus 300 fade, it'd be much more profitable as well. I'll take it here against the Yankees here. First 5 full game, first 5 plus 235, full game plus 270. LA money lines. Sure, I get it. Luis Gil at home, the Bronx, everyone's hitting great.
Wow.
But shout out to you, Nate Dogg.
Look at this.
Nate Dogg. Shout out to you, my guy.
Look at this.
Blow donkeys.
Our guy, Nate Dogg, with a dono saying commercials blow donkeys. What a guy. $50 dono from our guy, Nate Dogg. Wow. Thank you, my friend. That is enormous. What a guy. Thank you to all of the support from everybody in the chat. Nate Dogg, that's a big one, man. Thank you so much from all of us at Pub Sports Radio. It means a ton. Nate Dogg, commercials blow donkeys. Something that the White Sox do after a victory, right?
Each other, not donkeys.
Oh, okay.
But yes, I'm taking the Angels here. This was an easy bet for me. And by the way, Cheshire Cat mentioning that they let Yankees pitchers cheat. I'll say this again. All the spin rates from like the spider tack and pre-check era, all those spin rates are now the same as they are now. So I am confident that the pitchers are using sticky stuff again. They're just doing it more discreetly. So everyone is using it, Yankees included.
Wild stuff. And one Nate Dogg to another. Nate Dogg 420, giving respect to Nate Dogg. Jose, what were your numbers on the Angels' first 5 in full game?
Full game plus 270. First 5 plus 235.
Wow. Wild stuff. Now we have cappers in that chat on the run line. DC Capper -1.5 for the Yankees, and Joey Marinaccio. The play of the day from the Dapper Capper is the Yankees -1.5. That's who you are going up against here. So let's talk about game 2 in this spot. Angels, Yankees, Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Carson Fulmer, another pitcher, but this one has only had 1 start on the road, but he's had 13 appearances coming out of the bullpen. So he's had opportunities there. 5.19 ERA, 24 strikeouts and 19 walks on the road. At home, he's a monster. 63 Ks and 29 walks on the season. So obviously 49 strikeouts and 10 walks at home, while he has 24 strikeouts, 19 walks on the road. He's been coddled. Now we have Will Warren. Will Warren has 1 start this year, July 30th in the majors, 7-6 extra inning win at the Phillies, and he went for 5 1/3, and he allowed 4 earned runs. So let's learn more about Will Warren here, 25 years old, and he this year pitched for Scranton Wilkes-Barre and pitched poorly. 20 starts for them in AAA, and 6.11 ERA, 1.40 WHIP. Now he has 115 strikeouts in those 95 2/3, but he's allowed 18 home runs. You're asking a lot of Will Warren here. We went over the numbers for both teams against righties and the bullpen. Let's take a look at the line history for this one. Game 2 of the double dip. The Yankees and Will Warren are -238. They opened up -228. And again, we can't talk really about the line movement, I don't think, because this line came out on Monday night. So when should we talk about? When did we know Will Warren was going to be in the lineup pitching? About 8:40 this morning, right? So this was -278, and then we found Will Warren's pitching went down to -235. So let's say that there's been 3 cents of movement since Will Warren we knew was going to be the pitcher. And let's do that again with the total here for Will Warren and the New York Yankees. This total went from, I guess there's been very little movement on this one, but let's talk about when we knew who was pitching. And that was so there's been no movement at all on the total since we knew Will Warren was in. And again, the cash won't mean as much. Shout out to our guy Big Show Picks in the house, coming off his 39th birthday. Hope you gave Big Show the love he deserves. And check out his big UFC podcast, Locker Room Podcast. Came out every Tuesday night, 11 p.m. Eastern. So it's out, and it's our main video. It'll be our main video throughout the week here. So please check it out. Their core piece for their parlays hit 5 straight. I got to cash with one of them with them. It's just been incredible. But here we go, Jose, for the cash flow for this one. We have 96% of tickets, 93% of cash on the over, 95% of tickets, 99% of cash on the Yankees. Take it away. Bruce Cottney says, who is Will Warren? Take it away for us here, Jose Bouet. Carson Fulmer, Will Warren.
Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, I honestly, if my first bets come true and the Angels win the first game, I expect this line to explode to Yankees minus like 300 again, because people are going to be like, they can't lose back-to-back games here, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not going to move on this I'm not going to move on the second game, excuse me. But let me tell you this. If they lose the first game and this explodes to minus like 325, you will probably end up seeing me tweet out Angels first 5 full game again. Now, it is a long shot, obviously. That is why it is a plus 270 for the first game for them to win that game. But if the Yankees lose game 1 and we see this line explode, I will be on the Angels again. Otherwise, I'm probably staying off. I obviously think we have a pitching advantage with Carson Fulmer versus Will Warren here, but how big is it? Not much, honestly. And the Yankees bats are still probably going to smack around Fulmer here compared to what the Angels bats will maybe do to Will Warren. So it's a stay off game for me. Obviously, all eyes for me are on game 1 first to see if the minus 300 fade can come through for me yet again.
Huh. I wonder if first 3 plus a half, or even first 3 money line on the Angels in game 2. That last start, he's been pitching really well at home. I've watched a couple of them. He's pitching really well. It's just, how is he going to do here on the road? But Will Warren's got to be a question mark. This is Will Warren's first start at Yankee Stadium. Guys, it's the over 1.5 bases for Daby Cab here.
Uh-oh. Troy again. Troy, God bless you, Troy. God bless you. These good things happen when Troy says things like this. I don't know if we could have a worse read on a game, Jose. I believe. I believe here, Troy. I believe. That's what matters here. And by the way, shout out to Young Vaughn, new name in the chat for me. He said he had to rewind and rewatch the White Sox segment because he enjoyed it so much. So thank you, Young Vaughn.
Oh, and here we go. Our moment of Zen has approached. We have the RBI play of the day from Mikey Money, the ribeye play of the day for Mikey Money. Now, put up the play on our first go through here, because the second one, I don't want that play blocking anything. Shout out to Mikey Money. So I just want my head just to sneak out behind a tree. Yeah, just like that. Just like that.
Yeah, I was working on it the other day, actually. So you'll have it soon enough.
Yainer Diaz at plus 165. Get up to that spot here and put that under Alvarez. Yainer Diaz plus 165. Al Cervic in the house. Football a cometh. Al, football a cometh. And we're all very excited about it. I have some interest in that first 3. I mean, what the hell's Will Warren going to do? I mean, Will Warren could get touched, especially if you get, your shit pushed in that first game, Yankees win by 10, then I'll be very interested in the Angels, really. So
I understand that. So you just have to watch and see if whose shit gets pushed in, mine or Luis Seals.
Yes.
Let me tell you, I have more experience.
Oh God.
Well, we can't be confirmed about that. What does his tattoo on his neck say? Bless me or whatever the hell. Ah, man. Shout out to Luis Hill.
Jesus Christ. Just keep talking. Let's move on. 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Cincinnati Reds 55-58, 27-27 on the road at the Miami Marlins, 42-72, 22-36 at home at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. Roof will be closed. It's hot, sticky down there. Andrew Albert going up against Valente Beloso. So over the weekend, I was thinking of just blindly betting unders in all Braves games, and I didn't. And the first 2 cashed because I cashed back-to-back on the unders. One of them was Valente Beloso's last start. And if I had of the first 2 would have cashed, and then the third one didn't. Still was worth it. I should have been doing it. Now we'll get to a Braves game here shortly, but we're talking about Valente Beloso. He looked very good against a light-hitting Braves squad. And the Reds are hitting 241 with a 742 OPS versus righties. since July 15th. We got DC Capper here with the Bookie Buster play of the day. Let's get that copied and pasted here. Copied and pasted. And our guy, Troy, says, I think we go back to the over here. Reds, Marlins. That Andrew Abbott start last out was against Blake Snell when Snell threw the no-no. Abbott pitched pretty well. 9-8, 3.41 ERA, 1.29 whip this year. He allowed 7 hits, but he got 8 strikeouts. He got the strikeouts when he needed them. Just 1 walk. On the road, he's been better than he's been, at home. 5-4, 3.28 ERA, 222 opponents batting average. And the Marlins are hitting lefties right now. 255, 743 OPS since July 15th. This Reds bullpen's fallen apart. It wasn't 4 weeks ago. We were talking about how good this bullpen was. 5.23 ERA, 1.26 whip. Marlins bullpen, 2.41 ERA, 1.03 whip. Continues to pitch well despite being picked apart at the deadline. Let's get into the line history here. This total is at 8.5. 8.5. Opened up minus 113 to the under, now minus 105 to the under. The over's gone from plus 100 to minus 107, so we have 7 cents of movement towards the over. On the money line here, we have the Marlins at plus 113. The opened up at plus 130. Just a monstrous move towards the Marlins, which tells me that Beloso is going to pitch well. Nate Dogg 420 on Beloso over strikeouts. And Fernando Mendoza dropping a little 2-piece there. Sturm grabs PSG money line and the over 2.5 for Fernando Mendoza. BJ says the Marlins just smoked Abbott a few starts ago. Pass, but I agree with the overlook. And Big Show has Yordan over 1.5 bases parlayed with the UFC core and his leg of the parlay. I love what you guys are doing with the core and everybody gets to add a fighter to the core. It's a very, very shrewd way of handling things. I love it.
I also like the name, the UFC core. That just sounds sick. The core.
Get into the cash flow for this one. We have these Marlins with 24% of tickets and 18% of cash in the line, just moving so drastically in their direction. 96 and 96 on the over. I mean, how do you not back Beloso?
Yeah, come on board. Yeah, Marlins money line plus 114 official for me. It's on my card. Yeah, this is the one of the main things, or one of the things I don't like about this is our guy Troy. We've talked about those home dogs in this price range, but he just talked about not betting intra-division home dogs as well in this kind of price range as well, which makes me feel a little better about betting the Marlins here. But yeah, Marlins money line for me, plus 113 official for me. I like the spot, the line moving down. Jimmy, you said it opened up at where for you?
It opened up at plus 130 at 5:16 p.m. yesterday. It's now plus 113. What was it for you at BetOnline?
Yeah, this opened up plus 135 Miami, minus 147 Cincinnati, and all the way down minus 124 Cincinnati to minus 114. Our friends at BetOnline here. So yeah, I thought this was one of the easier plays here, and that is nice to see here. As well, Troy saying non-conference short home dogs have been great bets, so that's nice. That makes me feel better. And by the way,
this is in conference, so this is NL.
It's a good note. That's a good note to have. I will copy and paste that. But you're right, Jimmy. And by the way, Marlins have been Marlins as home dog. Market move them are 12-2 to the over in this game. I fully agree with the overlooks as well. I think the Marlins can get to Abbott here. They just got to him. Normally, this is a zigzag look, but since the market's moving so heavily towards the Marlins, it makes me feel more confident in the Marlins here scoring. And if I think the Marlins are scoring, Beloso, sure, he might be have a solid outing here, but he is kind of still riggedy. Still can give up some runs. So I agree with the over, but I am on the Marlins here, full games. I have a loss in this bet. This is already this series, so it's a little annoying, but whatever.
Yeah, I get it. I really get it here. How long ago was it that the Marlins? 4 starts ago.
Yeah, it's kind of long enough.
15th. Right before the All-Star break.
Troy says the Marlins win this game 46% of the time. And I kind of like our odds here, obviously.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know if I can tail that. I mean, yeah, it just makes me nervous. Okay, I like the look. It's certainly appealing. Don't get me wrong. There's no chance I'd be on the other side. Just whether or not I join you on the Marlins, I will have to make that decision. It feels like one of those spots that I don't, and then I beat myself up over it. Let's roll on to the next spot on the board. We are bringing Daby Cab back for these next 3 games. So please welcome back from Dallas, Texas, the Magic Man, Mr. Dabra Cadabra. We got Trot Wham in the house. Wham Bam 3000. Great to see you, Wham Bam. Let's roll. 6:40 p.m. Eastern with the San Diego Padres, 62 and 52, 32 and 23 on the road. Pittsburgh Pirates, 56 and 56, 27-29 at home. Michael King going up against Marco Gonzalez. You know, there was a time when I liked Marco Gonzalez. He was a batter and a pitcher at Gonzaga University, won the John Olerud Award. And I liked him. Now, we have not seen him in a long time. It's nice to have him back here. He has only thrown 29 innings this season. 1-1, 3.72 ERA, 1.52 WHIP. Coming off a 9-5 loss at Arizona when he got lit up and smoked. 4 runs over 2 1/3. He started 2 games at home. 2 games at a pitcher-friendly PNC Park. And he's thrown 10 2/3, allowed 4 earned runs. He's only walked 1 batter, and he's allowed 0 home runs. We know what Michael King's been doing, delivering game in and game out, pitching very, very well. So, Padres, they're smashing lefties. 252, 789 OPS. And the Pirates aren't really hitting righties. 232, 637 OPS. Like you guys all predicted. You all said, look out for this Padres bullpen. They're going to turn it all around. They have the right group to do it, and they have 3.47 ERA, 1.07 WHIP, while the Pirates bullpen 4.06 ERA, 1.45 WHIP. Let's get into the weather in Pittsburgh for this one. Sorry, I got to drop down quickly. Here we go. The 80 Fahrenheit, 11.2 miles per hour left to right across the diamond. By the end of the game, it's slightly in. Line history-wise, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates at plus 145 right now. Now 144. They opened up at plus 129. So 17 cents of movement towards the Padres. This is as frustrating as the Astros line movement because I wanted to see the line movement and I wasn't seeing it. I kind of fear Gonzalez a little bit, but the Padres can hit lefties, and Michael King's been shoving, and the Pirates' bats are quiet, and I would already be on the Padres -1, but I needed to see a sign from the books, and I just hadn't seen one, and it's very, very, very frustrating. Let's get into the cash flow here for this one, and then hear why Daby Cab wanted this game. 98% of tickets, 99% cash on the over, 76% of tickets, and 99% of cash on the Padres. At least you have 24% of the tickets on the other side. You just have big, big bets on the Padres, which should be enough combined with the market movement to bet them on the -1 line. But let's hear what Daby Cab has to say. Take it away. Padres, Pirates at PNC Park.
I wanted the Padres too, Jimmy. And I'm going to say it right now. I think if you haven't got them in yet, now's a good time to look at some Padres futures. I mean, would have been nice if you could have got them in, a couple weeks ago when I first talked about it, but I still like it. I like Padres futures here. I like this Padres team. And Michael King has been just absolutely electric. I mean, he gave up 2 runs against Baltimore in his last start, but 1, 2, 3, 4 starts in a row, Texas, Seattle, Cleveland, and Boston. He only gave up 1 run. So he's just been absolutely dealing. So I like the Padres here also. But I think Gonzalez is vulnerable here. And I also think he's due for a little bit of road regression. His ERA is under 3 on the road. He's just been out electric, but I think he gives up a couple runs here. I'm going to take the first 5 over 4. I got it at -122, and I did tweet it out. it's been moving. I think now you got to take 4.5 at plus money, or maybe like minus 130 if you want to get the 4. I just think that Gonzalez is vulnerable here with the way San Diego's been picking it up against lefties lately. I think they can get 3 or 4 off of him, and I think Kings do for 2 or 3 runs also. So I just like the first 5 over 4 here.
First 5 over 4. There's still some okay spots for that. You can still get minus 120 on the first 5 over 4.
Well, can you give me that then?
Not if you tweeted it out.
Oh, okay.
It's just 2 cents difference. Okay, Daby Cab on the first 5 over 4 at minus 122. Johnny K looking at the Pirates. BJ saying Michael King has nasty stuff. Let's hear what Jose Buquet has to say about this spot. Michael King, Marco Gonzalez.
Yeah, I'm not going to move on this game. Michael King, like Cabby said, has been gross recently. Minus 160 road favorite. Probably not want to bet. And Marco Gonzalez, I have respect for him, but I think the Padres offense is good enough to get to him here, so I didn't move on anything. Low total, though. Low total.
Yeah. I would like to back the Padres minus 1. I mean, if we were backing them minus 1 on the road all year, we'd be in great shape. 9 games over 500 on the road, just 1 game over 500 at home. I wanted the Padres minus 1 all along. I just needed a sign from the books that they were concerned about the amount of money that had been bet on them. I think we have that concern now.
Yeah, Michael King's got a 2.62 road ERA, and his opponent's batting average is hovering right around 200 on the road. So
yeah, 207, 73 Ks, 24 walks, 8-2 record here. Troy saying parlay them with the Yankees game 1 on the money line. Okay, let's roll on.
Troy, you should anchor all your parlays to game 1 of that Yankees game. It could not possibly lose, Troy. Anchor them all down with game 1.
Hey, happy birthday. I know it's 1 day late, and I said it yesterday, but happy birthday to Big Show out there, man. Shout out to my dude, Big Show.
Yeah, what a guy this show is.
Oh, yeah. Cheers, man.
Love seeing his son growing up big and strong, too. It's great. Let's roll on. 6:45 p.m. Eastern. We have Blake Snell making his return after the no-hitter. This reminds me of Cease. This doesn't remind me of an outlier performance. Blake Snell is confident beyond measure right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Cease pitched really well again after that no-hitter. This isn't like the Phillips spot. Blake Snell, 1-3, 4.29 ERA, 1.13 whip now, 72 Ks and 56 2/3, 5 home runs allowed, 11 strikeouts, 3 walks, and that 3-0 win at the Reds. And Abbott pitched fine in that game. Going up against Jake Irvin, who's starting to look a little bit more vulnerable, still having a very good season. 3.56 ERA, 1.10 whip. Last start, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 8-3 loss at home versus the Brewers. At home, 3.69 ERA, 250 opponent's batting average. Giants are hitting just 226, 695 OPS versus righties. The Nats are raking lefties. Raking them. 313, 855 OPS. That's why this wasn't correlated enough for me to initially move on the Giants. And the Giants bullpen's been very good since July 15th, 3.60 ERA, 1.13 whip, while the Nats bullpen, 6.30 ERA, 1.62 whip. Let's get into the weather first here in Washington. 87 Fahrenheit, feels like 93, 8.9 miles per hour right to left. And let's get into the money line here. We'll start actually with the total. This total has these Giants. Sorry, that was wrong. Here we go. This total is sitting at 7.5 right now. Actually, it's moved to 8. Maybe it just never left 8. Sorry, this opened up at 8, minus 107. Got up to 8.5 at 11:25 p.m. yesterday. Then 8, and then down to 7.5, and back up to 8. Overall, we've had 8 cents of movement towards the under. So a slight move towards the under. And on the money line, we have these Giants at minus 157. So there's now been 6 sets of movement. But I was waiting to see this movement last night. There was none. Came out at 5:14 p.m. 4 hours, 15 minutes later, there'd been a 2-cent move, towards the Nats. And again, the ability for the Nats to hit lefties kept me from moving on this right now. The bookie buster play of the day is the San Francisco Giants. And JP just said I have to refer to Sharpie and ask what lefties have the Nats been hitting. He says he doesn't know the answer, but all lefties are not Blake Snell.
I would stay the fuck away from fading Blake Snell. I don't care if he threw a no-hitter last game. That's just my personal opinion. I'll get into it when you hand it to me, but I would either back him or run the other direction.
Oh, I hear you. So we've now had a very slight move towards the Giants, but that took 18 hours of it being available for that to happen. And we'll close up with the cash flow on this one. We have 72% of the tickets and 77% of the cash on the Giants. That's a much higher amount of action fading Snell than I had expected. And 94 on the over 8. Strategic Investment says Blake Snell has 4.29 ERA, but his predictive metrics are outstanding. 2.87 ERA, 1.13 whip, and ranks in the upper percentile of all starting pitchers across a plethora of predictive metrics. Take it away for us here, Daby Cab. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I just said it. Obviously, everybody's got that Cincinnati game circled, right? But then you go look at Colorado. He went 6 innings there, only gave up 2 hits, and gave up no runs. Let's look at his last 5 games. In his last 33 innings, he's given up 2 runs. I'm going to say that again. In 33 innings, he's only given up 2 runs. Just been absolutely electric. He had the 11 strikeouts last game against Cincinnati. He had 15 against Colorado. He had 8 against Minnesota. And he knows how bad that he was this season. I think he's pitching with vengeance. I think he's pitching. That no-hitter didn't make the season better for him. Right? You want to talk about like the psychology like you get into sometimes of baseball players. He's still angry, Jimmy. There is no way. I mean, his ERA was all the way up almost at a 12 at one point this season. Like, he's still angry. He's pitching with vengeance. I say you get behind the Giants at a -1 line, or you just don't bet this game. That's my personal opinion.
And what's keeping you off of betting this game?
Just haven't been in tune with this Giants team like I have some of the other teams.
Jose Bouet. Oh, by the way, I'm going back over the plays of the day from our cappers because I don't have them set up perfectly. Crystal Craig, Padres team total over 4.5 was her best bet in this one. And then we got more best bets coming up. Jose Bouet, take it away. Are you backing Blake Snell?
Fuck no. Fading his fucking ass. Fuck this guy. I'll take the first 5 team total over 1.5 for the Washington Nationals here, -105. Cabby, if you'd like to stake bet that, I would be glad.
No, that's a good bet. I'm not taking that.
I had the money line written down. I wanted to take it. I saw all of you people in the chat saying Giants. I said, you know what? Fine. I won't double up. I'll stick with my Nationals bet here. I did a StatMuse search, and it doesn't really work all that often, but luckily it finally did for once. These are the starting pitchers that have faced the Nationals who are left-handed in the last few days here. And Peasy, you're right. None of them are Blake Snell. Montgomery on the 29th, apparently, of the last month. Andrew Abbott, Nick Lodolo, a guy who opened for the Brewers, Dallas Keuchel, Dave Peterson. And I will say that Montgomery got touched up, and Andrew Abbott pitched well, and Lodolo got touched up. And those are the most recent ones.
I want to add this, Jose. You talk about Valdez being your favorite lefty. When Snell is on, he's not just the best lefty. He's the best pitcher in baseball, in my opinion, when he's on. Genuinely, and I stand by that.
Fading his fucking ass. He's never gone complete game. I'll never back a pitcher off a no-hitter. Fade. Nationals here for me. 1.5, -105. Was very close to taking the money line. Was very close.
Let me know if you decide. I might book you that one for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Look at that. I love it. All right. I'm going to stay off of the spot. I just I get why everybody's on the Giants, but something just doesn't feel right for me. Where I would beat myself up so much in this market if I was wrong, and I wouldn't beat myself as much if I leave money on the table and Snell pitches great. Troy Torrance sprinkling Nationals and the under. Morgan
agree with you
Spooner
there.
saying Snell is off back-to-back games throwing over 100 pitches for the first time this year. Snell's team won every game in 2023 after he pitched 100 pitches in back-to-back games. We roll on. Next up for us, we have 7:07 p.m. Eastern, Baltimore Orioles at Toronto Blue Jays. This is Daby Cab best bet situation and strategic investments heavy on the Giants football as well in the Dominican, man. Would sure like to get down to your spot at some point in my life. Seeing the ladies you have in that hot tub, and I'm interested. Find myself interested right away. Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario, and Trevor Rogers pitching here. You guys know I'm a believer in Trevor Rogers, and he got lit up in his first start. Perfectly predicted by Von Polo. Von Polo said that Rogers would scuffle in his first start with the Orioles. He did just that. And I wanted to back the Orioles, and I couldn't believe this market move towards Bowden Francis. Don't know if you guys know our Bowden Francis was a 7th round pick in the 2017 draft by the Brewers at a Chipola College in Marianna, Florida. And he was spectacular in Buffalo. 3-1. He had 4 starts, was in 2 other appearances, so 6 appearances total. 3-1, 0.93 ERA, and 0.57 WHIP. It was incredible. And it got him the opportunity to pitch in the show where he has struggled. His last appearance was August 4th. He only went a third of an inning, allowed a hit. No one runs, the 4th extra inning loss at the Yankees. His last start was July 29th, and it was very good. It was an 8-4 win at the Orioles. He allowed 3 earned runs, 2 jacks, but that's a tough offense to lock down. Maybe not as tough over the last little bit. At home, he has struggled over 15 and 2/3 innings. He allowed 11 earned runs and 20 hits. 2 jacks, 313 opponents batting average. And as much as we talk about the Orioles offense not seemingly looking as good, they're still hitting 282 with an 854 OPS since July 15th, while the Jays are only hitting 232, 676 against lefties. Orioles bullpen, 4.88 ERA, 1.27 WHIP's been a little better of late, and the Jays bullpen continues to be an atrocity, 5.65 ERA, 1.62 WHIP. And Robert Franklin says the Orioles just seen this kid. They did, as we said, July 29th. So all I wanted to do was bet the Orioles. And yet this giant market move towards the Jays, maybe it was just a head fake. There was a lot of talk about that. The Orioles, or there was a lot of talk about that at Spanky Fest last year. They talked about how there were these fake outs that the books were doing. And I wondered if this was one of them. Orioles opened up at minus 144. It got up to minus 146. I was literally looking at it every 20 minutes all night long. So much so that I told you guys I had a dream about this baseball game where the final score was 8-1 Orioles. I didn't bet it, and I was beating myself up for being such a schmuck and listening to these market moves.
How did the Blue Jays get that one run? Was the dream?
I don't know. I didn't watch the game. There was no parts where I was watching the game. It was just I saw the final score was 8-1, and I was just like, how did I leave this money on the table? There was no market move until 8:17 this morning when there was a 10-cent move towards the Jays. There was some buyback, and then there was another big 8-cent move towards the Jays at 9:32 this morning. The Jays got down to minus 124. They're now minus 128, but at that point, there'd been a 20-cent move. Sorry, I say the Orioles got down to minus 124. Sorry, the Jays got down to, when it was minus 124, to plus 115, opening up at plus 133. So 18 cents moving there. Very, very, very tricky. Very, very, very interesting. We have the total at 9.5 at Penny. This opened up at 9 at 5:08 p.m. and moved to 9.5 at 7:46 p.m. So they're obviously saying that Trevor Rogers is vulnerable here, and it's not the Bowden Francis is not the problem. The problem is Trevor Rogers, according to the market. Cash flow here in this one, you have 74% of tickets, 77% cash on the Orioles. You have 84% of tickets, 86% cash on the over. Daby Cab, best bet time. Aubrey Travis coming in with the Toronto Blue Jays money line. Nate Dogg 420 on Guerrero over hits and to hit a homer. Markel says, got a feeling Blue Jays win this. But Robert Franklin on the Orioles Take it away, Daby Cab. The floor is yours. Rogers Center in Toronto.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember this or not, but we had this conversation. I think it was last season about Rogers, and I was fading him, and you were kind of telling me that you liked his stuff, and I gave all the reasons why I didn't like him, and then he went out there, and I'm pretty sure he almost threw a no-hitter that game. Just made me look like an idiot, but I still stand behind what I said on those days. Rogers, for me, he just like walks too many people. Like right now, he's got 88 strikeouts to the 49 walks, a 1.55 whip. His stuff is just not good enough to be giving up that many free passes, in my opinion. Rogers has been somebody that, as I just alluded to, I've faded over the past couple seasons. And for the most part, it's paid off for me. You know, I don't think he bounces back here. Honestly, I don't. I don't see any reason why it shows that he shouldn't. The Blue Jays, since the All-Star break, obviously everybody knows what Vladdy's been doing, but you look at the whole team, 259, 318, and 412 since the All-Star break. And as streaky as this team has been, you know, up and down, winning, losing, it's just, for me, I think this is a spot where the Blue Jays might blow up. I kind of like the Blue Jays to win this game, but I'm not going to overcomplicate it. I talked about Guerrero just a minute ago. He's got a .526 batting average with 20 hits, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs, and 13 runs scored in his last 10 games. Unbelievable. He's unconscious. I'm going to say it again. A .526 batting average, 20 hits, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs, and 13 runs scored in his last 10 games. And you're giving me plus money with him against Rogers for over 1.5 bases. It's just a no-brainer for me. So I'm on Vladdy over 1.5 bases at plus 108.
Plus 108. Now, with these spots right now and with the Jays lineup, you know, it can't be a close game. Now, it could still hit with it, but if it's a close game, Vladdy gets walked and they attack whoever they're going to put behind, David Schneider or, you know, Kirk or, you know, I guess it's not going to be Varsho, maybe Horowitz. But so for this bet for it to be comfortable for you, there has to be no worries pitching to Vladdy. And because, good God, who you have protecting him? David Schneider? The spots where Vladdy's smashing is when there's a 3-run difference in the game, whether it be for the Jays or, you know, for the opposition, because, good God, there's nobody protecting him in this lineup. Vladdy over
on base.
Say what, my man?
Or nobody on base. They'll pitch to him if nobody's on base, but that's probably
true.
about it.
That's true. Vladdy over 1.5 bases at plus 108 for Dabra Cadabra. Jose Bouet, Orioles, Jays. Take it away.
I am purely 100% watching this game to watch this game finish 8-1 Orioles. That is all I want. So I'm going to bet that. I'm going to bet it somehow, some way. I'm already texting some people to somehow I'm going to put that bet in. If I can get that bet in, I will make it official gladly. I'm not going to put a whole unit on it in real life, but I'll track it for a unit, no problem. But I want to bet the 8-1 here. Troy Torrance was just talking about how we don't bet home division dogs. I like the Orioles here, no matter the line movement, honestly. And this is indeed what I think is a head fake here. So Orioles for me. But I'm going to bet the 8-1 here because I believe in That's So Raisin Jimmy.
That's so strange. I've never said that. I've never had this happen before. I don't think ever in my life. It's so strange. But I could tell you this game was on my mind nonstop because, you know, I do like Trevor Rogers, and I was excited about his first opportunity here with not the Marlins made the playoffs last year, lest we forget, but. Vladdy over 1.5 bases at plus 108 and no move on the Orioles game. I simply can't do it, unfortunately. So Vladdy over 1.5 bases for Daby Cab, running very hot. We need that here with us on our show. Daby Cab, my friend, thank you for rocking with us. I know you're going to play a huge role in our college football programming that's coming up very, very soon. Also starring Medicate Mondays and on Saturdays, of course, alongside Jose Bouet in Say Hey Plays of the Day. Keep crushing it, my man. Any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
You just said it, man. College football is so close. I can fucking taste it. I promise we are going to make money hand over fist. We are going to take it this year in college football. If you weren't here last year for the live streams, we had a lot of fun. Bet bet large amounts of money on those. And I'm going to win this year in college football, Jimmy. I can't wait. I've been salivating at the mouth just waiting. So shout out to you guys in the chat, man. Justin, Wager Detective, JPZ, Nate Dogg, everybody. Jimmy, Jose, I love you guys. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Let's get that cash today.
There he is, Dabra Cadabra. And before we move on, why don't you just take the games away here for a second? Because we have Grandma wearing your sister's panties again play of the day. It is here. It is here. And we have a cachet of beautiful older women, which we are going to update as we do. We don't just keep putting on the same beautiful older women. There's only one I really want to see again and again, and it's her. It's her. She's the only one I want to see over and over.
Jimmy, don't lie. You love the one above her.
She does look like she parties, man.
You like her.
I like that she party. I mean, she's hammered right now. Look how hammered she is. I mean, she's
absolutely.
So I like that. I'd prefer the women around me to be drunk, but she just doesn't quite because. Well, let's get back to work here. Your grandma wearing your sister's panties again. Play of the day is in, and it's in the Twins game. Go back up to the Twins breakdown here. It is Minnesota -1.5 and under 8 at +320. The Minnesota Twins -1.5 and the under 8 at +320. And before we move on, it's always so important, I think, when you see Capper fading his team. It worked for us with Spain against Canada in that round robin finale. But Bo Jackson here, whenever he talks about the Blue Jays, whenever he talks capping, listen. But he says the Orioles money line is the play today. That's the one who has season tickets to the Jays. So there's some.
I think I'm going to move on the Orioles. Honestly, I'm going to keep waiting and keep letting it get cheaper, and I'm going to bet the Orioles.
And Bo will be at the game today. There's some talk about the size of her arms here in this picture, and I've got no problem.
What are we talking about? These arms
are short. I mean, I don't.
What are you talking about, Bo? Those are good enough to wrap around.
Talking about these arms.
Maybe those might be T-Rex arms. I don't know if they reach across her chest.
Okay, you're talking about these arms. Okay, maybe she's a mermaid.
True. We've never seen the bottom half. You're right.
Yeah, maybe there's a big fin there.
It would be more dynamic.
They do look like pretty small arms.
Yeah, I don't think she's ever touched her other shoulder with her arm. I'm
not concerned about arm length.
Of course not.
Not the first thing I do when I meet a girl is, stretch out your arms and pull out the measuring tape. Sports Money says the bottom half is probably a mess. I disagree.
Yeah, that's just false.
I disagree.
I'm suddenly more interested in the bottom half now that you said that.
Hard not to be. Okay, let's get back to work here. Next up for
real quick, Jimmy.
Yeah,
I'm going to be officially in plus 8,000, 8-1.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about it. It's weird. It's never happened before, and there was no part where I was watching the game. It was just afterwards. That was a score, and I was just angry. This is a bet that I wanted to make, and I almost made it before the show, and the market was not helping. I wonder if anything's changed here, but I'll tell you my thought process. Justin McKelvey thinks the bottom half is a mess as well, But hey, in my story with her, the bottom half is fantastic. It's excellent. So let's get back to work here. Freddie Peralta versus Chris Sale. So you guys know I like Freddie Peralta a lot. I watch his starts. I think he is more vulnerable than he's been. There's my guy Fat Wally in the house. Fernando Mendoza says PSG 2-1. Nice job, Fernando Mendoza. Oh God, Markel's sopping would be the term I would use.
Yes.
Freddie Peralta here, I think, is the vulnerable of these two pitchers. And he pitched really well in his last start against these Braves. And yes, these Braves are easy to go up against right now. They are a little harder of late. And Ron Crawford saying that a spreadsheet dog, not the spreadsheet play of the day, but a spreadsheet dog was Milwaukee. But here, I just feel like if you have two pitchers and you see a lineup, and then 5 days later you see the lineup again. Now, remember, 5 days ago, I was on the first 5 over 3.5, the full game over 7. I was in a drive-through when the back-to-back homers happened in the 4th inning, and good God, did that change my day? It changed my day.
What were you getting?
I was getting Timbits for Ella to bring to her friends for a swimming party. But there was back-to-back jacks. Darno hit the second one, and I was just euphoric.
What is a Timbit? Is that Tim Hortons?
Yes, it's a little donut.
Okay. Okay. Donut holes. Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure. So, again, these two pitchers, who's going to be more difficult seeing them again? Now, the Brewers are hitting lefties, 274, 764 OPS. The Braves versus righties, 228, 725 OPS. That's all since July 15th. But it's Chris Sale. Chris Sale is going to be more difficult, and I want to back him. But he's such a big favorite there. You have to back him first 5 minus a half. And is that something that you would want to do in this situation? Let's break that down. So here we go. Atlanta, we're going to start with the weather in Atlanta. 92 Fahrenheit, feels like 95, 10.9 miles per hour to center, dies down to 7.7 miles per hour. On the total for this one, we have the 8, just like it was before. Just like it was, too. It went from 7.5 to 8. Under 8's minus 103, over 8's minus 109. Again, that never moved to 8 5 days ago. That was 7.5, and that was 7. Excuse me, that was 7. It was 3.5 and 7. 3.5 and 7. And now we have a full run up from that. Even it opened at a bigger number. The over 8's at minus 109. So we have a move to the over, and we did not have a move to the Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves right now, there has been a move to them. All the spots that I wanted to move, there's now been a move. It's extremely frustrating. But I also wanted to move to the Orioles, and that didn't happen. But now we have 13 cents of movement towards the Atlanta Braves. Let's get into the cash flow here. We have 98% of the tickets, 98% of cash on the over. We have 26% of tickets and 45% cash on the Milwaukee Brewers. They are the sharp action here, but the line's now moving towards the Braves. And I just keep going back to this thing, Jose, where who's going to be more difficult to face again? And it's Chris Sale, who's now at home, where he's 8-0 with a 2.72 ERA, 198 opponent's batting average. Now, Peralta's been good on the road. JP says, my recency bias says Peralta is trash, and I've cashed recently fading him. And the Clark edge is on the under 8 here. On the under 8 in this spot. That's his play of the day. The Clark edge on the other 8. Take it away, Jose. I'm going to be very, very interested in your breakdown.
You weren't interested in the get your hooker part? Get yourself a hooker part of the Clark Edge's play?
No, I'm also interested in that. Sure.
Okay, fair enough. Shout out to you, Clark Edge. I think this is the first time that we disagree on something, and I disagree with you vehemently here. I think Freddie Peralta is the much harder pitcher to face again, because I think Chris Sale's 2 pitches. It's slider, fastball. He'll sprinkle a little change up in there. That's not really that good. Freddie, if you look at his pitch splits, it's over 50% fastball, but he's obviously got change-up slider in there to mix that up. And I think that the 2 pitches makes it really easy to hit Chris Sale on like a semi back-to-back kind of thing here. And I have finally decided, Jimmy, I've kind of done this, I think, every year. I've picked a team that I have said will not make the playoffs. Sometimes it blows up in my face and that team makes and wins the World Series. Sometimes it goes well. I have officially decided my team to not make the playoffs, and I am betting this future today. The Atlanta Braves to not make the playoffs this year. Plus 375 here to set this for the no. Justin McKelvey, I'm coming for you here as well. First of all, we know, Jimmy, one of the best under teams in baseball. Does that reflect their offensive quality? Not really, because it's more, it reflects expected offensive quality to what they're actually doing. They're still not horrible offensively, but I do not think this team makes the playoffs because their offense is not good enough. Their pitching staff has been hurt basically all year. Max Fried comes back and gets crushed. I think he'll be fine, but I think this is the year the Braves fall out of the playoffs, and that would have me saying, Mets fans, open your ears, that the New York Metropolitans, who are 1.5 games back, will make the playoffs over the Braves, which is crazy to say at times. I understand that, but at plus 375, I just think there's inherent value. Fade the Braves, continue to bet unders, because again, they remain the best under team in baseball, and it's kind of not that close. But I think their injuries will catch up to them. I think guys like Chris Sale will fall apart relatively. I think that there's just going to be a wear and tear on guys like Chris Sale at the end of the season. And I think that this team just, flounders at the end, and the Mets come in and steal a playoff berth. So I'm officially on that. Braves to not make the playoffs at plus 375 here. And I battled against betting the Brewers here. But I stayed off just because I disagree with you on this Chris Sale, Freddie Peralta point. And I, obviously respect your baseball knowledge to be like, you know what? If I disagree with Jimmy on this so much, I'll probably just sit back and watch, not risk my money on it. But official for me, Braves to not make the playoffs, plus 375.
Shout out to the Chillest gifting 5 Pub Sports Radio memberships. It means a ton to us. AOD, the fix is in. Trisha Monroe, JR, and Philip V getting it. I love that. Thank you guys so much. That's so wonderful. Shout out to the Chillest. And in this game, the Braves team total over 4.5 for Justin McKelvey. Wondering if you want to go up against him. And that's plus 114. You'd be getting a juicy minus spot if you wanted to go up against our guy, Justin McKelvey. And shout out to not only the Chillest, shout out to our guy, Justin McKelvey, in the Stacks play of the day.
Stacks.
Wow. Okay.
I will offer Justin McKelvey a stake bet, and not just one bet of a stake. I will offer you 2 stakes, Justin, on the Braves playoff chances. There you go. We'll make it interesting. I'll take the no. You take the yes. It's I'm not betting this game individually, obviously, but my whole breakdown was on the Braves. So the playoffs. So Justin, I will offer you that. Make it juicy. I'm up 1, I believe. So we'll make it very interesting, Justin. We'll make it very interesting indeed.
Justin laughing.
Good.
Laughing hysterically.
It's going to be great. I can't wait.
Okay, well, I won't move on the Braves first 5 minus a half. Okay.
I mean, it's hard to bet a minus a half with the offense of the, again,
it is
most unders, etc. It doesn't, again, reflect their offensive quality that much, but it's just tough to bet those.
Clark Edge says 10 minutes until the first game. Don't miss a bet here. I've moved on it. I bet it. I'm on that first 5 under 4.5 minus 123. I'm in. So, yeah, don't worry. I'm in, Clark, and that one's popping off in 9 minutes here. I'd like to see if that's changed here. That late movement at Penny is very dangerous if it's going against you. Here we go. The first 5 in that game 1. Minus 122 now, so whatever. It's going to send away. That doesn't scare me. Okay, let's roll on. And top set Brewers plus 2.5 and Braves team total over 3.5 is a 220 SGP. Wow. Okay, let's roll on. And we have next up for us 7:45 p.m. Eastern. Tampa Bay Rays 57-55, 27-26 on the road at St. Louis Cardinals 58-56, 30-26 at home. We have Jeff in the house who says, "Did someone tell Jose to only make outlandish picks today?"
That's why I'm here. Come on.
Yeah, he's off his game right now. He was in the White Sox clubhouse after the game last night.
Come on. We were all celebrating me and my guy Ozzy.
Oh God.
Shout out to Ozzy again. I fucking love Ozzy.
We are in St. Louis, Missouri here. Busch Stadium for Rays Cardinals. 79 Fahrenheit, 8 mile per hour winds in. It dies down to 5.4 miles per hour.
By the way, when you said Jeff, I assumed it was going to be Jeff Slaughter making fun of my hair. And then I looked up. I was like, oh, shit, I cut my hair. So what's he going to make fun of this time?
Oh, he would find something.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I know that. Shout out to Jeff.
No, we would be. But this is just Jeff. One win.
Jeff.
But if it was Slaughter, he would have probably talked about the shenanigans.
Or my, bulbous lips. Who knows?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. It's always wobbly for you sitting down. Taj Bradley and Eric Fetty. Eric Fetty did not look good in his first start with the Cards. 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 2 homers, 4 Ks, no walks, and 6 losses at the Cubs. Did not look good. Sancho says Rays spot with Taj Bradley coming off that very early 12:10 a.m. start. We talked about him being vulnerable in that start. There was a sharp action against him in it, and they lose 6-2 at home versus the Marlins. On the road, he's not been nearly as good as he's been at home. 3.78 ERA, 230 opponents batting average. That last start where he allowed 4 earned runs was at home. When does Fetty get right? Justin McKelvey backing the Rays with Sancho. When does Fetty get right is the question. He looked great all year long, but that was with no pressure on the White Sox. Now he's at Busch Stadium and it's packed with fans, and they are close to being in this pennant race. Not pennant race, but a wild card race. Rays versus righties, 214, 692 OPS. Cards versus righties, 238, 675 OPS. Neither team's hitting righties. The Rays bullpen, surprise, has become electric when it matters most. 2.35 ERA, 0.89 whip. While the Cards bullpen just 4.34 ERA, 1.22 whip. Again, all these stats are since July 15th. Let's get into the weather and the line history. Oh, thank you, Clark Edge. Yes, thank you, my friend. It means a lot to me that you care about that. Thank you. That is a very, yeah. I mean, come on. You've got to take advantage of winning days. You've got to take advantage of spots where you have the right idea. That did throw me into a bit of a
tizzy.
I would never say that word. So I don't know. Here we go. So let's go back to the weather here. Let me see it again. So 8 miles in, dies down to 5.4 miles per hour in. Let's get into the line, the cash flow for this one. We have, and these of course are pinnacle line moves. We have the Cards at minus 103. They opened up at minus 111. So we've had a move towards the Rays. We've gone from plus 102 to minus 105 here. I have no idea what Fetty's going to do in this start. I really don't. I feel like he wasn't never handling pressure well when it was on him in Washington. So yeah, he's pitching for the worst team that we've seen in years, and he delivers. So I don't know what he's going to do. Let's get to the cash flow for this one. We have, I've gone too far. We have 98% of tickets and 98% of the cash on the over. 98 and 98. We have 29% of tickets and 47% of cash on the Rays. So this reminds me of that Miami Marlins spot. See the market move towards the Rays, like we saw the market move towards the Marlins. Even that, I wonder if that's changed at all. No, that's still exactly where it was. So, God, this is a tricky spot, because do we expect Taj Bradley to bounce back, or do we want him to bounce back at home or expect him to bounce back at home and not on the road? Again, there's been no movement on this total at all, despite 98% of tickets, 90% cash on the over. Nate Dogg says Taj shoves Rays and under 7.5. Shout out to our guy Nate Dogg with that $50 dono for us today. You're the man, Nate Dogg. Take it away, Jose. I'm all ears. Rays, Cards.
Yep. Shout out to you, Nate Dogg. We appreciate you, my guy. Thank you very much. You guys have heard me since Taj Bradley came up again. Taj Bradley train. I've been on him. I'm going to continue to back him here. So Tampa Bay Rays full game money line for me. I was kind of back and forth on this one. I was a little worried about what Fetty would do. And honestly, Jimmy, I was looking at the Cardinals rotation and I was like, you know what? This ain't so bad. Like, this Cardinals team could make the playoffs. They're 3 games back. I think they're also in the hunt. Hopefully they can get back in it as well. But, a team can do worse than Miles Michaelis, Lance Lynn, Sonny Gray, Kyle Gibson, Eric Fetty. I think that's a pretty solid squad right there. Old squad. So it'll be interesting to see how they all do here. But I'll be interested to see Fetty's performance here. I'm going to be on the Rays, but Fetty is for sure the X factor that I'm a little worried about here. I think there is a lot of pressure, just being that, I guess, big deadline acquisition in that first start, and everyone's kind of watching you being like, okay, let's see what we got here. And he shits it on his leg. So I agree. Unders think are good money here today. The Rays here, money line for me is official here. Minus 104 now, which is crazy that earlier today, this line was, in fact, I need to find it here, plus 105 now. Going to be basically even either way. So it's going to be a fun game to watch. I like the Rays full game money line and very close to actually betting the under here, honestly.
Did you say you got plus 105?
It opened up at plus 105.
So what did you get?
I got minus 104.
Yeah, I could see them both shoving. A red girl, no, the spreadsheet play day is in our next game. It's in our next game. Our friend Ron Walsek says, my bowling buddy Ernie Fetty works at the Greyhound track as a bartender. Says Fetty will deal and strike out many Rays.
I know what Ernie looks like, and Ron doesn't have to describe. I can picture him clearly in my head. And Ernie, I got him in my head, especially what he's got the wrist guard on. It's probably not like the black wrist guard. It's like a tan one he's got on. Ron, I can see it all. Shout out to Ernie.
I like where you're at with this one. I also feel like both pitchers bounce back, and both bullpens have been good. I don't know why I wouldn't want that full game under.
What did this open up at for you? Action is, trying to throw people off the scent here, and they opened. Are they saying that it's opened up somewhere else? I had this 7.5 minus 120. It seems like to the over.
What time?
That is at 2:43 yesterday. I moved to minus 110, and it really hasn't moved much.
Yeah, this opened up at 7:02 p.m. at Pinnacle at minus 106, and it's right back there. I don't want to double up, but
that's the same thing I'm having issues with as well.
It does feel like I don't mind doubling up on side and total. I don't want to double up on either of them individually, but this opened up under 4 at plus 105. It's now under 4 at minus 102. And over 4 opened up at minus 121. It's down to minus 112, so 9 cents of movement away from it. Can you give me an idea of the bullpen freshness? Because I think it's probably best to take the full game under.
Yes, I'd rather go full game as well. Personally, Rays bullpen only Joel Cunell. Only he threw yesterday, and Colin Poche just threw 8 pitches, so they're fresh and ready to go. And as for the Cardinals, Ryan Helsley threw 25 yesterday. Hadn't thrown since Saturday. If it gets hairy, I expect him to pitch, but I'm assuming they're going to want to avoid using him today. Everyone else besides Andrew Kittredge had a day off. Kittredge just threw 9 pitches as well. So both bullpens generally fresh. The only concern for the Cardinals is that Hensley threw yesterday.
Hugely important game for both teams. Huge. I mean, we're right at the point where you either, put some wins together or give up on the year. Okay. I think I'm going to be on the Rays and the under 7.5. I guess because if it's 3-1 Rays after 5 innings, we can expect the under to cash unless the Cards, go to their weaker relievers. Again, the Rays are hitting 214, 692 OPS. And Ron Walsack also told us that the Cards and Rays, 2 worst teams with runners in scoring position. So I like it. Mally Mouse says, did we have a play on Guardians Diamondbacks? Because we're about to go into my first game that I actually have pre-action on. Yes, Joe Thompson, his POD play today, he's got 2 of them. One's in the next game, is on the Diamondbacks Guardians over 7.5. I'm on the first 5 under 4.5, and we're just about to start. Let me get this one up here. We have started, and the first batter is out.
I just moved on the minus 110, 7.5 as well.
On what?
I have a lot of
on the full game
under.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have a lot of action today, and it's going to be a sweaty day. Hands already sweating.
Yeah, I got 48 hours here where it's just me and capping. So I'm really looking forward to these 3 days, but I need to turn things around so badly.
Are there some Timbits in your future?
No Timbits in my future. No. Thank you for asking, though.
Yeah, they sound great.
Let's roll on here. Jose on the Rays minus 104 and the under 7.5. I'll be joining them on both of those spots. We roll on, and let's get that cash, Clark Edge, my friend. We have now hit a spot where we heard Joe T on the over 8.5. I am on the over 8.5. I don't bet overs often. And we have the Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today, 32-22, up 19.7 units. Ron Crawford is on your Boston Red Sox. Shout out to our guy, Ron Crawford. Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Cutter Crawford, he's certainly not as bad as the last 3 starts. One was his last good start. It was against these Kansas City Royals. In his last 3 starts, Cutter Crawford, who's had a really good year, 3.81 ERA, 1.09 WHIP. He's now allowed 26 home runs on the season because he's allowed 12 in the last 3 games. Last not 3 ideal. Starts, 15 innings, 21 hits, 16 earned runs, 12 home runs, 12 strikeouts and 1 walk, paying your life on the Royals. And BJ says Royals win. Today, we discussed this yesterday.
Oh, God.
So let's get into the weather here. 86 Fahrenheit, 6.8 miles per hour in, gets up to 7.3 miles per hour. Not a big deal. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Here we go. Oh, by the way, the batter versus pitcher, which ended up pushing me over the top. Only Tommy Pham has seen Bradley. And then against Fetty, these Rays have 3 hits in 22 at bats. One was a home run by Siri. No, Fat Wally, that's just being decided here and will just be announced very shortly here. So we'll be that's a big deal. It's a big deal to us. BJ says fade the Red Sox against a lefty. I mean, they're hitting 288 with a 967 OPS versus lefty since July 15th. No team's hitting lefties as hard as the Boston Red Sox. The Royals are hitting 298, 830 OPS versus righties. And the Red Sox bullpen an atrocity, 6.22 ERA, 1.66 WHIP, while the Royals bullpen being, poor at 4.41 ERA, 1.27 WHIP. DC Capper says Kansas City wins today. So let's discuss this line history. Also, I've got the batter versus pitcher up. So why don't we touch on that as well? Cutter Crawford has nice numbers. Only Melendez has gone yard against them. So Cutter Crawford's done good against these guys. Sal Perez 0 for 8. Bobby Witt Jr. 1 for 7. And then Raggins has shut down these Red Sox. Raggins has looked good against them. Hasn't allowed a jack. Just a few hits against them. Let's get into that line history then. Line history wise, we have the first 5 is at 4.5 here. This opened up under 4.5 at minus 108. It's now under 4.5 minus 116. That makes me very nervous. Let's get to the full game here. On the full game, we have an 8.5 minus 117 to the over. So that's continued moving. Now, I got this at minus 105 to the over at 365. At the time, it was minus 12 at Pinnacle. I was surprised that 365 didn't change it. And then maybe 40 minutes later, it moved to minus 110. Pinnacle's moved this to minus 117. But it is pretty noticeable that the first 5 is going towards the under, while the full game is going towards the over. And that's predicated on the bullpen weakness of both squads, especially. And now we have runners on the corner in that first game here, Arizona, Cleveland. Big spot with 2 out here. So money line wise, Cole Ragans is at minus 132. The Royals opened up at minus 143. There's been a move towards these Boston Red Sox who've gone from plus 132 to plus 121. Let's take a look at the cash flow then for this one. You have 97% of tickets, 98% cash on the over, very public. And then 28% of tickets and 35% cash on the Red Sox. Feels like it's sharp action. And Coin says Naylor booting balls at first base. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouquet. I'm on the over 8.5 minus 105 Red Sox Royals. Floor is yours.
Yeah, I want to take the Royals here. And my homer brain is telling me to bet the Red Sox as well. It's just 2 battles inside of me right now. I bet the Red Sox in the first 2 games of the series and won. We've talked about this throughout the weekend. This was a very important series for both of these teams. And the Red Sox now clinched the tiebreaker over the Royals as well, which is going to be huge playoff-wise and very big for me as I have my Red Sox to make the playoffs bet. But here's the thing. The numbers against lefties are good, but it's nice that I guess StatMuse has, gotten a little smarter and now is interpreting what I'm actually trying to put in here versus the starting pitching or left-handed starting pitchers against the Red Sox, their game logs. Here are some of their guys that they faced recently. Cody Bradford, Rodon, Cortez, Ty Block, Austin Gomber, James Paxton, Justin Warblinski, this very same Cole Ragans, who went 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run in that appearance. J.P. Sears, Nestor, Trevor Rogers, just honestly, just not good pitchers. And none of these guys are really like all that great lefties here. And the only guy that was really good in there is obviously Ragans, and he went 7 innings, 1 earned run, domination. I really want to back the Royals here. The line is a little bit too juiced for me, honestly. I think that the Royals will have a little bit of pride here to not get swept at home in such a big series, where they're only a half game out of or up on the playoffs now against them. But again, it just feels like the Red Sox have a little bit of momentum right now. It is amazing what a really good manager can do to a baseball team. Alex Cora, again, continues to show why he's the best manager in baseball, and I don't think it's particularly close. So I just really want to back the Royals here, but I think the Red Sox are feeling themselves, and it's scary here. So I have no action yet, but at some point I might get convinced to move on the Royals here. I've just gone back and forth in my head, honestly.
I'm on the over 8.5. I got, as I said, minus 105. Right now it's just minus 110, despite they've been behind Pinnacle on this game throughout. Let me just click on it and see if it's, minus 110. Okay, I'm on the over. The next spot was another game that I moved on. Be well, Justin, my man. Thank you for all that you do for us, my guy. And let's do a test. Let's do a test run.
Yes, email us since you don't have Twitter or whatever. Just get in contact with us, pubsportsradio@gmail.com or whatever. We'll get into business with you, Justin.
Let's roll. Oh, and Mally Mal saying, what is Stacks? Is Braves team total over 4.5 at plus 114. All right, let's roll on. Next up for us, New York Mets at Colorado Rockies, Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. First spot is that I've been saying this to you guys. I think Feltner is quite a bit better than his numbers indicate. Now, he's been destroyed at home this year, but not lately. Not his last 2 home starts. But if you look at the totality of his home statistics, they're poor. 6.14 ERA, 314 opponents batting average. I believe he's much better than that. Remember, this is a guy who got the fractured skull last year. It's taken him a little while to get rolling. Going up against Paul Blackburn, looked great in his first start with the Mets. He's playing meaningful baseball for the first time in a long time, and he shoved in his one start at Colorado last year. I like both of these pitchers. So in old times, this Rockies bullpen was an atrocity, and we would take just the first 500. But this Rockies bullpen is pitching pretty well right now. Since July 15th, 3.99 ERA, 1.33 whip. Mets bullpen's being elite, 2.90 ERA, 1 whip. The Rockies are hitting righties harder than the Mets are hitting righties. So I didn't want to double up. That was all. That was my issue. I just didn't want to double up. I came so close to. I had it queued up, and I was like, why would I double up on this spot? Why would I double up on an under at Coors? Now, this line's gone against me since I moved on it. When I moved on it, it was minus 115 at 365. It was minus 114 at Pinnacle. You guys know it's not been a very good baseball season for me, so I'd rather use credit than liquid, so I don't care. It cost me an extra cent to send it in. Now, the under is minus 105. So there's been a 10-cent move towards the over, and that makes me a little uncomfortable. Mally Mal says, how is this guy still starting a 1-10 record? His record's 1-10 because the baseball team that he plays for is terrible. As I said, Feltner, I think he's pitching really well, and we can dive into this a little bit more, and I will back up my thoughts on Feltner because I truly think that he is going to be a bet-on pitcher for the rest of the season. It was unfortunate that I didn't cash that first 5. He allowed 2 runs over 5 innings against the Angels. But, you ask, how is Feltner, still a pitcher here? And I'll tell you, first off, in July, he threw 28 and 2/3 innings. He had a 2.51 ERA, and opponents hit 214 against him. And I think we're going to keep seeing that. Win-loss record doesn't mean anything anymore. He just plays on a shit baseball team. So, and then again, Jermaine Connolly, Feltner got a 7.36 ERA versus the Mets. Look, I don't care what his numbers are versus the Mets. Those were 3 and 2/3 innings this year. That's it. And I look what he's doing right now. So, the last bad start he had was at the Mets. And that was part of a July month where he was excellent. He had 2 of those starts were 7 innings, allowing 2 earned runs. One was allowing 1 earned run at Great American Ballpark. He shut down everybody except for that start at the Mets. No, you guys can be all against me, and that's fine. And no, Jerry Davis, I only took the full game under 11. Because of what the bullpens have been doing lately. So much love, Ron Crawford, my man. Keep up the great work. Aubrey Travis saying Blackburn, fire. Robert Franklin with me on the under 11. So let's just touch on this line history and hand it over to Jose. Those were the only 2 bets I made pre-show, was the over in the Red Sox-Royals game and the under, in this one. So right now the Rockies are at plus 137. They opened up at plus 145, 8 cents of movement towards them. Then on the total, this total is at 11, and it's a pick'em. It's a pick'em here at Penny. This opened up at 11, went up to 11.5, back to 11, up to 11.5, back to 11. And this was getting juiced. As I said, it was minus 114, but this was also minus 117 at 11.55. There's been a move towards the over in the last hour or so. When we get to the weather here, 84 Fahrenheit, 11.6 miles per hour out. But that's just to start the game. The wind is crazy in this game. When we get to the late, and this was also another part of the weather's moving all over the place. It's now down to 10.5 out the center. But very, very quickly, it moves just to the right field pole, and then it's left to right. But again, you keep refreshing this because this was saying it was 10 miles in for the last hour of this game. So get to the cash flow as our final thing before we hear from Jose Bouet. 74% of tickets. Oh, sorry, that's right. Sorry, 82% of tickets, 93% cash on the Mets. This line's moving towards the Rockies. 80% of tickets, 78% cash on the over, and it's debatable where the line's moving. Take it away for us here, Jose. Mets, Rockies.
Yeah, a stay off game for me. Admittedly, I think you're right. Ryan Feldner has been pitching well, and I remember backing him in his last start. Paulie Punch-Outs I like as well. I probably lean under. I'd lean first 5 just because I'm still wary of the Rockies bullpen turning into a pumpkin whenever that may be. But no action for me in this game. This is a stay-off spot. It is a little concerning as now a newfound Mets fan after betting the Braves to not make the playoffs that this line obviously has, let me go back here, 82% of the bets and 93% of the money on the Mets, and it really has not moved up. If not anything, it's moved down from minus 160 to minus 149. That is concerning, and it makes me feel like the Rockies are definitely live in this game, but I'm not going to move on anything yet. I am going to, however, grab my laptop charger, so I'm going to do that now, but no action for me on this game.
I'm going to leave the under 11, but I think the Rockies are certainly live here. They're certainly sharp. I mean, the Marlins, the Rays, and Rockies all seem very sharp dog action. And I've only moved on the Rays of all of those. So let's roll on to the next spot on the board. Here we go. This is the lowest total of the season. And let's attack it here right now. There are no 5.5s out there, but this opened up at 6.5. Tigers, Mariners, and then it moved to 6. The 6 started getting juiced to the under. We got to a minus 111 right around when the show started. Since then, there's been a 14-cent move towards the over. Overall, though, we have this half-run move to the under in Tigers, Mariners. Let's get into the money line here in this one. From a money line standpoint, we have Kirby and the Mariners at minus 129. They opened up at minus 130, so no movement. Get to the cash flow on this one. We have 98% of the tickets and 97% of the cash on the over. If you guys like the under, and we heard Jose talk about liking the under earlier, it might be worth waiting, because now it looks like a 6.5 will reappear. We have 26% of tickets, 23% of cash on the Detroit Tigers, and there's been no movement on this one. Let's get into the weather, as the roof is expected to be open in Seattle. Beautiful night there, 71 Fahrenheit, perfect night for baseball. 9.3 miles per hour out to the left field pole. Dies down to 7.7 by the end of the game. Tariq Skubal, 12-4. As Mally Mal says, they must know Skubal bouncing back versus these scrubs. And the Mariners certainly are scrubs. 188, 604 OPS versus lefties. 188, 604 OPS versus lefties. They're not hitting them. Skubal coming off, getting lit up at home versus the Royals in his last start. 6 1/3, 5 runs allowed. On the road this year, 5-3, 2.76 ERA, 226 opponents batting average. What George Kirby's done at home this year is really fascinating. He's allowed 1 home run in 60 2/3. You know, on the road, he's allowed 10 home runs. But here at home, just the 1 home run, 67 strikeouts, 7 walks. That's a K to walk ratio of our dreams. 217 opponents batting average. Tigers versus righties, 212, 623 OPS. We talked about the Mariners' weak numbers versus lefties, and both bullpens are struggling. 4.72 ERA, 1.20 whip. Mariners 4.94 ERA, 1.39 whip. Jose Bouet, take it away. Tigers, Mariners.
Yeah, I like I said at the beginning of the show, I think that they put back-to-back 6s out to, first of all, to rope everyone in. They're seeing a 6 with yesterday specifically, a 6 with heavy winds blowing in. People are, all right, we're going to bet the under. It goes over immediately. I was like, okay, cool. So I think they put up another 6 here today with, I'd say, better pitcher combo when Kirby and Skubal over Shota and Pablo. Not much wind. You know, there's the swish, so there's like 9-mile-an-hour winds. But I'm not worried about wind in Seattle, honestly. I think this game is setting everyone up to bet the over here and then to take a bath. And I'm going to bet the under in this game. Now, I don't want to leave the under in the bullpen's hands here. If both of these guys are rolling like I expect them to be, 6, 7, 8 innings isn't out of the question, but I want to take the for sure. I'm going to get both these guys for all the pitches I can get. So I'm going to take a first 5 under 3, which is Oh, it feels not great. It feels not great to do, but it's going to be a fun, interesting big game to watch. I think this game goes 0-0. So first 5 under 3 minus 115 is going to be official for me here. Again, it's not my favorite thing to do. As Daby Cab and Mike Money would say constantly, no pitchers deserve to be at a 3.5, let alone a 3. But once upon a time, this line opened up 3, juice to the over, minus 127. Now has completely flipped to 3 minus 115 to the under here. So I'm going to stick to that under and leave the bullpens out of it. First 5 under 3, and we're going to get a 0-0 here.
Wow, first 5 under 3. It looks like, 2-0. That was a 2-0 count. Lively just fucking, God, so annoying. Let's just go to this first 5 total, because anybody who wants to tail this, and I have some interest in it, I think you wait. This is back to a pick'em at 365. It's juiced to the over now at Pinnacle. Minus 111 to the over, so it's minus 103 to the under 3. God, that's a low total.
Yeah, and I felt like a dumbass yesterday not taking like a team total over for like the Cubs or anything, because it was like, I forget what it was. I was like 3 for the full game, and it was just crazy to see. And maybe I'll feel that way this game. You know, you can take like a Tigers team total over what, like 2.5, 3 full game, and not feel like an idiot. But I do think this is going to be a pitching grinder here.
Huh. Very, very, very interesting. Truth Teller on the over 7.5 in San Francisco, Washington is his play of the day. Chill Will on the Nerfy and Mariners Tigers. I'm going to be very interested to see what happens to this line. I expect the over bettors to, salivate over this, and I expect to get a better line. I'm interested in joining you. I'm not going to join you when the show ends. Jose on the first 5 under 3 at minus 115. All right, let's roll on to the final spot on today's card. 17 Major League games we've broken down. Philadelphia Phillies 67-46, 29-25 on the road. The LA Dodgers 66-48, 35-21 at home at Dodger Stadium. Chavez Ravine, Los Angeles, California, right off of Echo Park Boulevard. Let's take a look at the weather here in this one. 75 Fahrenheit, 7.8 miles per hour to right field. Dies down to 6.1 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Oh, no. Please don't say 3-0. Please don't say. Okay, good. Sorry. I thought Diamondbacks were doing it again. God. Okay. Runner on first. Come on, Ben. Son of a bitch. Okay. God damn it, Ben. Get ahead of these batters. Okay. 0-2 count. That's a little better. Here we go. For the total. Starting with this first 5, this opened up over 5 at plus 103 and then dropped to 4.5 until it started moving back to the over 5. There's been a 2-cent move to the first 5 over 5. Let's get to the full game here. This full game is at 9, even money to the over. It dropped to 8.5 at 10:22 p.m., got back to 9 at 11:30, and we have a very, very tiny move towards the under at this number. And let's get into the money line here. On the money line, I'm gonna sneeze there. On the money line, we have the Dodgers at minus 133. They opened up at minus 130, 3 cents of movement towards the LA Dodgers. And then when we get into the cash flow, we have 98% of tickets, 99% cash on the over. Obviously, line's moving there, but 78% tickets, 98% cash on the LA Dodgers. Tells me that there's other people who don't believe in what Tyler Phillips did. I talked about Tyler Phillips changing stadiums after such a spectacular performance, and he got touched for 3 homers, 8 runs over 1 2/3. And I wasn't on the first 5 over 3.5 in the full game over 7. I got talked off of it. But I don't really believe in Gavin Stone at all here. He allowed 5 earned runs over 4 innings in his last start at Oakland. Phillies versus righties, just 218, 626 OPS since July 15th. They're not hitting. Dodgers 2.36, 7.60, and both bullpens have been bad. The Phillies bullpen 5.25 ERA, 1.32 WHIP, while the Dodgers bullpen 4.76 ERA, 1.45 WHIP. Take it away for us here, Jose Bouet, Phillies, Dodgers.
Yeah, I've taken the Phillies in every game this series, and I'm going to take them here again today. Phillies plus 121, I believe. Let me double check that right now. But yeah, I think the Phillies, again, better team, plus 122. Better team at the end of the day. And I kind of think Gavin Stone is a little, not fraud adjacent, but I'll say this. I think we can all say that minor league innings and major league innings are not built the same here. They're going to be more taxing in the minor league or major leagues, excuse me. His career high of innings pitched was last year. He threw 100 in AAA, 31 in the majors last year. So 131. He's at 111 now. And I think there's going to be a fatigue that sets in a little bit. He struggled last time against the A's. And I think the Phillies get to him here. So give me the Phillies. Full game money line, like I said. Tyler Phillips, a little worrisome, sure. I was pretty surprised to see that string of great starts from him. Honestly, just and especially complete game, the one before. I mean, I agree. We should have faded his ass right then and there because fading these complete game pitchers, I think, is a great strategy. But I do think he bounces back here. And he's a great story. I think the guys play for him, Phillies fan, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, Phillies for me. I think he bounces back. Let's say like 5 innings, 3 earned runs is probably what 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 6 innings, 3 earned runs is probably what I expect from Tyler Phillips here. And I just think the Phillies offense can back him up here.
So why are you not on the first 5 over or the full game over?
I don't hate either look. I just haven't bet
Phillies team total over.
I haven't bet any totals or not many totals recently. I like that. I probably could add the Phillies team total and not hate it at all. What are we getting here?
Joseph Thompson on the over 9 in this spot.
I took a super juiced over team total over yesterday, and it cashed pretty easily with the Braves and Brewers. And I'll end up doing the same thing here as well. Jimmy, now that you mentioned it. Phillies first 5 team total over here, 1.5 minus 155. Yesterday was minus 160. It was thankfully not a sweat because they cashed like 3 runs in like the second inning. I forget what it was now, but we'll do it again here. 1.5 minus 155.
Minus 155, you'd be crazy not to.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Huh?
Huh? I'm in the middle of watching his HBO documentary.
Do they talk about his corked bats?
I haven't gotten there if they have, but let me tell you.
When he was in Montreal, his corked bats were like, and he would, if you mention his corked bats, he would punch you in the face. He would run and attack you, like run across the clubhouse and attack you. But his bats were all corked. When they'd break open, he's a hell of a character, Pete Rose.
Yeah, he can just lie with the best of them.
He sure can. Phillies plus 122. Phillies first 5 team total over 1.5 minus 155. I'm surprised it's a 1.5 against Gavin Stone. I'm surprised about this spot. I really am. I want to fade these guys, but I do not know what Tyler Phillips is going to do with the Jekyll and Hyde performance of his last 2 starts. Because I'm not going to bank on him bouncing back. Because he was invincible. And now he knows he can be touched badly. And I don't know what that's going to do for him. I'd like to see it.
He lost his innocence.
And Gavin Stone. Gavin Stone to me is a fade. So why would I not be on this first 5 over 5? Because Tyler Phillips could shove? Is that why?
He's not pure anymore, apparently. He's not a pure, untouched virgin. Right. He's been touched.
We're good. I think this first 5 over 5 is God. The problem is that you have 98% of tickets, 99% of cash on the over. I mean, how is that appealing to anybody? It's I tell you, it's not appealing at all.
Yep. Yeah. But I'll stick with my 2 bets. Yeah. That's why I guess I don't like the overs as well. They're all so public. It makes it hard to bet overs.
And it dipped to 8.5 at one point. Okay, I'm going to have to stay off of it. I'm very curious about the spot. Phillies plus 122 for Jose, and first 5 team total over 1.5. Let's review all action here on our show. Justin McKelvey stacks play today. Braves over 4.5 team total at plus 114. See what JPZ, he knows the Dodgers team inside, says Gavin Stone is not going to be the problem. It's our bullpen. Christopher Tatum says you're right about the young Arkansas homie Gavin Stone, but he got us paid though. Joseph Thompson, Joe T, fuck your under play today. Diamondbacks Guardians over 7.5 minus 115, and Red Sox Royals over 8.5 minus 110. And we heard that he added the over 9 in this one. Thank you for telling us about all that, Joe Thompson, my man. Billy Friedrich, Pig Milk play of the day. Phillies team total over 4.5 at plus 120. So we have correlated action with you, Jose Billy Friedrich. Joey Marinaccio, the Dapper Capper, game 1, Yankees minus 1.5 at minus 140. Yankees minus 1.5 at minus 140. It is 2-0 now here going into the top of the third. So the under 4.5 is not done, but not so great. The Clark Edge. Oh, we have how I lost the Clark Edge's action. I have his best bet later. I'll talk about Vipers on the under 8 in the Atlanta Milwaukee spot. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet dog play today is Boston plus 125. Crystal Craig, San Diego Padres team total over 4.5 at even money. Morgan Spooner gave us 5 spots. Otani over 1.5 bases minus 130. Astros money line. Guardians game 1 money line plus 102. Guardians game 1 team total over 3.5. And Gunnar Henderson or Anthony Santander to homer at plus 200. Mexican Elvis was in the house today, and Diamondbacks money line was his spot. Now that ain't nothing but a hound dog play of the day for Mexican Elvis. Then BJ's best bet is the Kansas City Royals money line. I'm on the first 5 under 4.5 here in Diamondbacks Guardians to get me started here, and we stayed off of game 2 Diamondbacks Guardians. Strategic investments play of the day is San Francisco Giants money line. Then I have to decide about this first 5 under 3.5 in Twins Cubs. Let's just take a look. And that is the same game where Mikey Money, your grandma wearing your sister's panties, play a game. Wearing your sister's panties again, play today is Minnesota on the run line and the under 8 at plus 320. This Joe Ryan, Javier Assad, first 5 under. I'd like to go back to it here. And I'd also like to go back to the wind in that one, see if that's changed at all, because we know it's crazy at Wrigley. This 3.5 under is minus 109. This did get up to 4 for a bit. God, it wasn't a real 4. But there's been a huge move on this under 3.5, Jose. It's gone from plus 106 an hour and 30 minutes ago to minus 109. That first 5 under 3.5.
Jeez.
Let's go back to the weather and do a quick refresh. See how heavy it's going to be here. It changes so quickly. And we have the 13.3 miles per hour in. I've got to make that decision in the next 35 minutes, but I feel like I'm going to move on it. Very low total. And Assad's not being great. But this weather's got to help him. Daby Cab gets his card started in 50 minutes with Alvarez over 1.5 bases. I'm on the Astros first 5 minus a half. Then White Sox A's, we stayed off, but Jose does have. We need it, Mally. We need it. Angels first 5 at plus 235 and full game at plus 270. Big dog bets. Now, I'm wondering if I want Carson Fulmer first 3 plus a half against Will Warren. I don't know if I do. I'm going to study that a little more. Jose's on the Marlins at plus 114. I get it, and I like it. I just don't think I get there. DC Capper, Bookie Buster play today, San Francisco Giants. Daby Cab's on the first 5 over 4 for Padres Pirates, and I think I'm going to be on the Padres minus 1. You know what? While that is here, let's just go back to the batter versus pitcher on that Padres Marco Gonzalez spot. We know the 32-year-old has been around the league. Let's just see what his batter versus pitcher is against. So this is San Diego against Marco Gonzalez. Yeah, he's got okay numbers. He's got pretty strong numbers against these guys. The best numbers, though, are from King. King's not allowed to hit. Now, only 13 at-bats against Dela Cruz, Grandal, Taylor, and Tellez. But Doesn't allow to hit against them. Cab's on the Nats first 5 team total. Oh no, that's not Cab. That's Jose, right? You're on the Nats first 5 team total over 1.5.
I am.
And that's the Snell Irvin spot. Daby Cab's on Vladdy over 1.5 bases at plus 108. The Clark Edge, get yourself a Prosty play of the day under 8 for Brewers Braves.
Wow, a Prosty.
Jose is on the Rays and the under 7.5. I'm joining him on both. Then I'm already on the over 8.5 in Red Sox Royals. I'm on the under 11. This line's moving against me right now in Mets Rockies. Jose's on the first 5 under 3 in Tigers Mariners. I like it, and I'm going to wait. Then Jose is on the Phillies money line at plus 122 in the first 5 team total over 1.5. Morgan Spooner says our Prosties like Frosties, the good ones. DC Capper is on Yankees minus 1.5 as his best bet. That's Yankees game 1, right, DC? Game 1, Yankees. Truth Teller moving on the Brewers money line at plus 149. So I believe that's game 1 here. And Mountain Mouse says, what are we doing on Cubs Rangers games? I can tell you that I like that first 5 under 3.5 in the Cubbies game. I do. The lot yesterday it soared over with similar very low total. I believe Jose didn't move on the Cubbies.
I don't believe I did. No,
you didn't. No. But your grandma's wearing your sister's panties again. Play today is Minnesota minus 1.5 in the under 8 plus 320. And in the Rangers game, Daby Cab's on Alvarez over 1.5 bases at plus 106. I'm on Astros first 5 minus half plus 107. And there you go. That is our show for.
Did you get the Orioles? I'm going to move on the Orioles officially. Minus 130. And I'm moving on the exact score, obviously. I already moved on, I guess I should say. Plus 8,000.
Yeah,
Jimmy, if you hit this,
well, I haven't bet it.
If you can get this score, it'll be all time. It'll be hung up in the record books and the rafters for everyone to see and remember. The time that Jimmy dreamt up the score and it hit.
It's so strange. Never had this happen before.
Are you going to move on the Orioles?
No. I mean, if that's the market playing.
So the dream is going to come true fully, huh?
Yeah. I guess. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. That is our show for today. Now, Thursday, Friday. Also, my family's gone for 48 hours. I'm going to cap straight for 48 hours. So we have CFL, NFL, Olympic basketball. It's all going to be here. And it's all going to be broken down. And it's all going to be bet. And it's all going to be thought about nonstop for 48 hours. Jose, my friend, you and Pete were excellent yesterday. Great work from both of you guys delivering. I must follow that badly. Got to get this out here. Oh, we got it. Okay, so we're in the top of the 4th now. 2-0 Diamondbacks. I would like to get this day started with a winner badly. I'm not delivering an MLB, and it's bothering me enormously. And I've been paying out on Fridays, and it stings. And I don't want that to happen again. I need to roll here. So, thank you guys. I'm so happy to be back in business with you guys. Remember, things are going to heat up. Things are going to heat up around here. Things are going to be wild coming up with college football and NFL ready. Truth Teller says he's ready for NFL. Shout out to all you guys. Jose, shout out to you, my friend. Love being back at work with you. Respect all your hard work. Love working with you. Aubrey Travis, love you, man. Truth Teller, Mally, Mal, Ricky, Bobby, Skunt Blaster, DC Capper, Andrew G, Sancho, Jay Peasy in the house. Thank you guys. Wager Detective, Mr. Tomatoes, Robert Franklin, Christopher Tatum, Panger Life. Thank you guys. Joseph Thompson. Truly, thank you guys. Jermaine Conley. We had Nate Dogg with a $50 dono, a Cheshire Cat with a whole bunch of smaller donos. That was great. Goran Ninkowski with the dono as well. Then we had Chill Will give out 5 Pub Sports Radio memberships. We truly thank you guys. It means so much to us, keeping us rolling, keeping us strong. So thank you. Jose Bouquet, my friend, please say your what ups and thank yous to whomever you please, and bless our action. Lead us into the future.
Yeah, shout out to everyone that's in the chat as always. We grind these days out together, so it's nice to see people coming in consistently, capping the cards with us. It's a great time. So shout out to you guys all as always. We need this papier, as they say. We need it badly. We had a good day yesterday. Let's keep on stacking, as they say. Let's keep on building because the black is within reach, and we have not had many days in it. And it'd be nice if we can get there.
I just had one glorious morning.
You just poked your head up here, like,
oh god,
look
and
down,
I just
you're
got
like,
fucking smashed. It's the whack-a-mole. It's got smashed down right away.
well, don't worry. Some what were they called again? Timbits. Some Timbits will make us all feel better today. So shout out to you guys. Go get some Timbits, maybe some Swiss Chalet as well. And don't forget Leche. Los Bookmakers. A whole turkey or whole chicken? Come on.